Fisher Stadium as the Michigan Wolverines take on the Michigan State Spartans. Michigan coming into this game 9-9. The Spartans 5-13. Michigan off to a little bit of a mediocre start this year. Started off really hot in some of those tournaments down in Arizona, beating two ranked teams in Oregon State and Arizona. Then have kind of fallen off a little bit since then. Had a really rough weekend against UCLA, number one ranked team in the country, getting swept over there out in LA. Michigan State been a little bit of the same. 5-13, not the start they would have wanted. Actually got off to a pretty impressive start against ranked Louisville, beating them their two first games of the year. Since then, not been the same story. Really struggling to win games. And now they sit here coming into this Michigan matchup, 5-13, still have yet to play at home as they play here in Ann Arbor again. It's a cold day, 34 degrees, enough to cancel the game yesterday, but they chose to play this one today. And our pitching matchup is going to be between Cade Montgomery for the Michigan Wolverines and J.D. Greeley for Michigan State. Jack, tell me a little bit about Cade Montgomery. What should we be expecting out of this Michigan starter today?
Well, thanks, Mark. Max, first things first, I just want to say, really excited for today's call, excited for this game of baseball today. Obviously, it's a bit colder than we would have liked it. Not exactly baseball weather, but you can still certainly play no matter how cold it gets. A little bit about Cade Montgomery. He's a junior right-handed pitcher from Kaysville, Utah. Third year here at Michigan. You're hoping for a bit of a really big step that junior year, but so far this year, his production, his starts have been a little hit or miss. His last start was against number one ranked team in the country, UCLA, and obviously anytime you face that really stout offense with Rock Chalowski, you're going to give up a few hits. But I don't think Michigan expected him to give up 10 hits and 10 runs across 3.2 innings and only punching out 2. Not exactly the outing you want. However, he has had great outings so far this season. Early on in the season, faced off against Stanford, tournament team from last year, expected to be just as good. Got a lot of great first season players in. He pitched extremely well against them. He threw 6 1/3 with 5 hits, 1 run, no earned, and 5 Ks. So Michigan obviously is hoping for a little bit more of that today, not exactly what he threw against UCLA. On the other side for Michigan State, they have J.D. Greeley, a fifth-year graduate transfer from Blakesley, Pennsylvania. Played his previous ball at Monmouth College. He's been a reliever for them this year. And, honestly, I expect him to stay in that same role today. Bit of an opener. He has not thrown an outing more than 2 innings, and so we should probably expect more of the same here today. His last appearance was against Rutgers. It was only a third of the inning 5 days ago. He did get the punch out there. His longest outing was just down the road at Eastern Michigan University in Ypsilanti. He recorded an inning with 3 hits, 2 runs, and 2 earned. Also got 1 K, but not exactly the greatest outing of the world against Eastern Michigan. Limited production early. Probably going to see him in a limited role today.
Yeah, excited for this matchup between the Wolverines and the Spartans, 2 vicious crosstown rivals. This game today will actually be a non-conference game being played during the week, not one of those weekend bouts. And Michigan's starting a little bit of a homestand. Thought they were going to play Toledo yesterday. That game has been moved to next Wednesday. But they got Michigan State today, and then Nebraska over the weekend. The series record, they've been playing these games, Michigan State, been playing baseball against each other since 1884. Michigan winning that first matchup 13-4. Since then, Michigan has owned that matchup. The record of 223 and 114-1. Michigan State looking to break that and beat the Michigan Wolverines for the first time in 6 games. It's been a struggle for these Spartans against the Wolverines recently, and the way they've been playing might be a little bit difficult against these Wolverines today. The lineup for the Spartans is as follows. They will hit first Nick Williams in left, Kamari Thomas at DH, Dayton Murphy at short, Isaac Sturgis in center, Randy Seymour at first, Ryan McKay second, Trent Rice in right, CJ DeKinga at third base, and the catcher, Noah Bright. Anyone from this Michigan State lineup you think that the Wolverines should be worried about today?
Yeah, first things first, we got to talk about Dayton Murphy. He's hitting .350 on the year. Shortstop in the 3-hole. Obviously, you're going to want to put your best hitter in the 3-hole. Most teams agree with that. And it seems like Michigan State certainly has. He's a sophomore right-handed hitter. And you're expecting him to hit for average. You're expecting him to get on base. He's got tremendous on-base percentage numbers, getting on base 40% of the time. But also a bit of a slug, too. Definitely their best hitter, hitting .525 slugging-wise. As many at-bats as anyone on the team. You're expecting him to carry this offense here today for the Spartans.
Yeah, it should be a good one. As mentioned, Caden Montgomery, number 9 on the mound for the Michigan Wolverines, throwing to an 8.51 ERA. As you mentioned, really got roughed up in that start over the weekend against UCLA. Looking to rebound against the Michigan State Spartans here today. Players are out on the field, infield, throwing balls to the first baseman, getting warmed up. This matinee action here in the cold. A lot of long sleeves out.
A lot of long sleeves. It's funny you say getting warmed up because I don't know how warm you can really get when it is a brisk 32 degrees outside. But they will certainly try. I know as soon as you get on the field, get a little bit of the juices flowing, things warm up a little bit, especially when you're in the box.
Yeah, one of those you kind of just got to get out on the field and start playing. Yesterday, similar conditions. They chose to postpone. I'm guessing they didn't want to postpone another one back-to-back days, but this is kind of part of what you're signing up for when you're trying to play Michigan baseball here in these Michigan winters and early springs. So Nick Williams up to hit for the Michigan State Spartans. Number 10, Williams hitting to a .233 average on the year, .711 OPS. First pitch in. Little pop-up, left field side. Might go foul out near the wall. What a grab. So that ball had some carry to it. Actually traveled foul out near the foul pole, but a grab was made by the Michigan right fielder, Colby Turner. Colby Turner, a standout.
Yeah, he's been a terrific hitter for the Wolverines this year, and anytime you can have a right fielder range to his left side and make that type of play, you're playing with house money.
Kamari Thomas up the bat here for the Spartans. First pitch, looks at outside ball. Kamari Thomas, sophomore, plays in the outfield. Out of Chicago, Illinois, hitting to a .341 average in this Spartan lineup. A nice bat to have early in the lineup.
Yeah, definitely. Especially out of the DH spot. You know, a lot of times in modern baseball we see that DH reserved for, your best power hitter, but, kind of the modern renaissance is going a bit smaller with it, going with, who you can consistently get on base at all times, and that seems to be what Michigan State and head coach Jake Boss Jr. are going for.
And Montgomery struggling early, 3 straight pitches outside and high against him, finally gets in a strike right down the middle. Thomas watches that one go, 3-1 count.
Yeah, it took a little bit off that one. He's sitting low 9s, dropped down to 89 for that pitch. But, if you can get it middle, especially 3-0 this early in the game, that's exactly what you want to do.
So should be a pitch to hit here. 3-1 for Thomas. Only 1 out.
Bit of a pitch comm malfunction.
I think a watch broken, yeah. Something going on over there. They're going to monitor. The coach came off the bench. I believe you're right. I believe they're trying to give K. Montgomery maybe a new pitch comm.
Cold weather makes batteries die extremely quickly, and I think that's what we're seeing right now.
Early in the game for a malfunction like that. But they're attending to it, and Montgomery walks back to the mound. Thomas giving a little bit of a breather. Thomas goes no gloves. You can see the long sleeves but no gloves. Quite an interesting look. But matches his pesky approach at the plate. 3-1 coming to Thomas. Pitch on its way. Strike. Caught the outside corner. 3-2 count. Paint there from K. Montgomery. Finding the strike zone and bringing the count to 3-2 with 1 out here. Pitch goes. Swing and a miss. He got him swinging.
That's exactly what you want to see. Early at-bats, you want to attack the strike zone, get as many outs early as you can. Find the 3-2, getting that punch out. That's big first inning just to keep the base paths clear.
Montgomery works out of a 3-0 count there, throws 3 straight strikes, puts him away with the off-speed swing and miss. And now there's 2 outs with nobody on for Dayton Murphy. Murphy, sophomore, hitting .350 on the year. And rolls that first one, Stephanie side, and that will go through for a base hit. So first pitch just slaps it the other way, and Dayton Murphy continues what he's been doing all year, and that's getting on base.
Seeing eye single. It'll do damage. Doesn't matter how hard you hit it. If you put it in the right spot where no second baseman can range over to, you're going to be on base.
Carson Luna unable to get over to that baseball. And now Murphy stands on first base with 2 outs. Out at the plate here, it's Isaac Sturgis hitting .265 on the air. A lefty bat. First pitch, outside, ball. Sturgis, .794 OPS. He's got a little bit of pop in that bat. 2 homers on the year, 9 ribbies. And he faces a 1-0 count here with a 1 on and 2 outs. Pitch again. Outside, got the strike zone. Montgomery has liked that pitch so far. Going outside on lefties. And he clips the strike zone there for the first strike of the at-bat. 1-1 count. Here to Sturgis with 2 outs. Top 1. Runner on first, 2 outs. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Montgomery going down low. And forcing the swing and miss there by Sturgis.
Just an over-the-top breaking ball that just is perfectly placed there in the front of the dirt, right in front of the catcher, just missing barrels, tunneled off that fastball.
Montgomery with a chance to get out of the inning here. Another pitch outside and low, ball 2.
Looked like a change up there, trying to go to the outside corner. Against the lefty, that's a great pitch, especially on a 1-2 count.
Sturgis just watches that one go. 2-2 count here, 2 outs, runner on first. Sturgis with a slight lead off of first. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And Cade Montgomery gets out of the inning unscathed with 2 strikeouts. So 1 hit and no runs as we head to the bottom of the first inning. What were your impressions of Cade Montgomery there? Thought he brought some really good stuff.
Yeah, I loved how he attacked the zone. Took a little bit off the fastball in that second at-bat. Still found a way back into it. And then I love that changeup. Double dip on the off-speed pitch there in that last at-bat. That's what he got the K with. You know, I love a starting pitcher who can get straight into the 3-pitch mix. I know a lot of guys who maybe wait to bring that third pitch, that second off-speed or breaking ball pitch until the second way, through the batting order. But a guy who can get all 3 pitches going early, that is what is truly scary to an offense.
Cade Montgomery did exactly that there, mixing in the fastball with some of the off-speed stuff. Really got lefties swinging, especially when keep them honest with those outside pitches, trying to clip the outside corner of the plate. And then just when they're expecting fastball, beat him with an off-speed pitch down low. And that brings us to the bottom of the first here. J.D. Greeley, we talked about him. 4-year player at Monmouth. Actually faced Michigan State last year. Pitched against them, 6 innings, let up 2 runs. Now came over here to East Lansing to play for the Spartans. And as you mentioned, he's more of a bullpen guy. Mm-hmm. Not someone you really expect to see much of a starting role. But it's weekday baseball here in the Big Ten, so you can kind of mix things around.
Obviously, as you were talking about earlier, in his game against Michigan State, he did start that game. So obviously he's got starting experience, but this season he's been limited, nothing over an inning and a half or an inning and a third, 7.11 ERA on the season, only 6 innings. So we're really looking, Michigan State is at least, Michigan State's really looking to get as much length out of him as possible just so that you don't have to dip into the bullpen until at least the 3rd inning, because that's when you can really get burned in these midweek games because you just run out of arms.
Yeah. So looking for length today to Greeley as Braden Jeffries steps into the box for the Michigan Wolverines. First pitch, low and inside ball. Jeffries, a lefty, often in this leadoff spot. In this spot for the 10th time this season. It's .279 on the year, 740 OPS. His numbers are a little bit better when he's in the leadoff spot. 292 batting average leadoff spot as he fouls one first base side and out of play. Jeffries, a return man from last year's team. It's a team that there's definitely was some turnover, losing guys like Mitch Voigt, the Benny Casillas, and they're really going to lean on guys like Braden Jeffries that are returning from last year's team to kind of lead this team.
Yeah, anytime you miss, a prize prospect like Mitch Voigt, you're going to have to replace his production.
And that ball sailed center field high. Sturgis is under it. He makes the grab for out 1. So weak fly ball there by Braden Jeffries. And into the box steps number 15, Carson Luna, second baseman. Hitting .289 in the year, 706 OPS. Not a bat with much pop, no homers on the year, but a guy who's fairly skilled at getting on base and setting the table for the guys that come after him in the lineup. Greeley's pitch, first pitch. Low ball one. Try the curveball. Luna laid off of it. So 0-1 count here. One out. Really on the mound facing the second baseman, Carson Luna. Luna looks off another pitch. That'll be ball two.
Another curveball. Seems to be pitching backwards, which is quite common coming from a reliever, especially, you know, in your first time through, because you can throw any pitch at any time because you're not expecting to face these hitters again.
Ooh, it goes high with a fastball there. Got in the swing and miss. So he laid off the two off-speed pitches, then goes high fastball. And Luna did not seem ready for a pitch of that speed. So 2-1 count here, one out, bottom one. Again, tries to go off speed. Luna lays off, 3-1 count.
For as much as he took an absolute hack at that fastball, he's got a great eye for Greeley's curveball here so far. 3 times he's seen it, 3 times it's laid off, 3 times he's been right.
Shift is on for Luna as he lines one center field. But that one also right into the mitt. Now the center fielder, Isaac Sturgis, who's now made back-to-back defensive plays. But Luna made some good contact there, just hit it to the wrong guy.
Yeah, just hung up a little bit. I mean, I'm looking at the center field American flag. There's not much breeze hitting it, but a little further past at the Carroll Hutchell Stadium flags, they're blowing straight in at home plate here.
You got to think the cold air makes a little bit of a difference. As Colby Turner steps into the plate, he's really been the prize bat in the Wolverines lineup this year. 347. Leads the team in home runs and RBIs. 5 homers, 21 RBIs on the year. Turner comes into this game a junior. Really emerged as a big bat in this lineup last year and has just continued that momentum into the season. So he laid off the first pitch ball. Here comes the second pitch. High ball 2. Turner at Huntington Beach, California, and really just emerged as like a force for this Michigan lineup.
He has been he's been the first player on this team to really find that power stroke early on in the season. You know, cold weather, sometimes the ball doesn't fly like it needs to, but Colby Turner has had no problem hitting the ball out. There's a couple games in a row where he had 3 straight in 3 days, and you're just thinking, this is an absolute bomb squad coming from number 14 in white today.
So Turner facing a 3-0 count. 3-0 count here. Takes first pitch strike. Really trying to pitch around Turner here a little bit. Afraid to face the most daunting bat here in this Wolverines lineup. 3-1 count, 2 outs. Pitch low and outside, and that'll be a walk for Turner. So Turner with only his second, that's only his second walk of the year, I believe. And he'll take first base and keep this inning alive for the Wolverines.
Yeah, he's a guy who really loves to swing it. You're not going to see him take too many borderline pitches in the river. He's going to try to make contact and really punish the pitcher for putting it there. So seeing a walk for him, especially early, is just a sign of a good approach. When the pitcher's really not given anything to hit, he's not going to swing.
So Ellie Clegg in the center steps into the play for the Wolverines, takes the first pitch low ball. Klingman is switch hitting catcher, playing in place of Noah Miller, traditional everyday catcher. Klingman hitting .259 in the air. Turner's running. Throw into second, way late. So Turner nabs second base. And now the Wolverines are threatening with a runner in scoring position with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
Not a guy you expect to run. I'm trying to see if he has a stolen base on the year.
I mean, they didn't even look over at first beforehand. He just went off gunning. 1-1 pitch. High. Ball 2. So now the switch hitting Klingman. The chance to bring in Michigan's first run of the game here in the bottom of the first. 2-1 count, 2 outs. Turner on second. Pitch from Greeley. Outside, ball 2. Tried to get that curveball to come back over the plate. Stayed outside. And Klingman should get a pitch to hit here. 3-1, 2 outs.
He has struggled to place that curveball, especially low.
Pitch inside, ball 4. So back-to-back walks here by Greeley. And the Wolverines are threatening with runners on first and second. And 2 outs in the bottom of the first.
Really tried to come back with that fastball, try to spot it inside. Honestly, it was a great spot. Just did not catch enough, according to the home plate umpire today.
So Cade Laidhoff, 28 here, steps into the play for the Wolverines. And the first pitch, under it, high fly ball to left. That one's going to stay up there and nabbed by the shortstop to get out of the inning. So the Wolverines with no hits but 2 walks threatening. However, the Spartans get out of the inning with no runs given up. And the score remains 0-0 as we head into the top of the second inning. Greeley struggled to find that command. Laidhoff, though, swinging first pitch and gave the Spartans exactly what they needed to get out of that inning.
Yeah, pop fly to no man's land. Seemed like Dayton Murphy was having a little bit of trouble finding it early, but he sank right under it and got the put out to end the inning.
So enough for Greeley. Obviously, we mentioned Greeley coming in more of like a bullpen opener arm. Threw a lot of pitches last inning, so it might be a little bit harder to extend him. But, hey, he did his job there in the first inning. Got out of it cleanly. And now Montgomery returns to the mound for the Wolverines.
Yeah, in a bullpen game like this, you're taking it an inning at a time, especially on the from a coaching staff perspective. You're just trying to get a 0 on the scoreboard every half inning, and you're okay if a guy maybe goes 1 because who knows, maybe the next guy is dealing through 2 and maybe gives you a third. So good by Greeley to get out of the inning without letting any runs in. See if Montgomery can put another 0 up on the board this half inning.
Yeah, Montgomery trying to continue what he did there in the first inning with 2 strikeouts. And we mentioned Montgomery has had a little bit of a topsy-turvy season. Like, started off the year in that game against Stanford, he was dominant. 6 in the third, no runs, 5 strikeouts. And ever since then, it's just like every game, either been allowing 4 runs, 5 runs, and then really that big blow performance against UCLA. But a real chance here against a Michigan State lineup that's really been struggling a little bit to kind of just get himself back on track. And we saw it there in the first inning. Just really felt like he was in control, landing his pitches well.
Yeah. Like you were talking about, that lineup for Michigan State not exactly being the most potent. Most of their games being held to 1 or 2 runs. See if Montgomery can contribute to Michigan doing the same today.
So Randy Seymour, the first baseman, up to bat for the Spartans, a .264 hitter on the year, .896 OPS. He's got 6 homers. This is a big bat here in their lineup. And he's going to look to do some damage here against Montgomery. Seymour stands up in the deck. First pitch fouled and out of play, out behind the netting. So this strike, 0-1 count here to Seymour.
Seemed like a cutter from Montgomery that just hung up a little bit. You know, Seymour on time, just a little bit under the pitch right there.
Next pitch, outside ball. Seymour to Frankfort, Illinois. He's a big kid, 6'4", senior here. Named on the Big Ten preseason player to watch, and he's been a guy to watch so far this year. And like a much needed just power bat for Michigan State as the second pitch is low for ball 2.
Yeah, anytime a guy can put up 2 home runs this early in the season, not as many as you want, but still good high slugging number. He's been the guy to really drive in runs for Michigan State so far this season.
Big strike there. 2-2 count pitch outside. Let's have a 3-2 count. The last pitch we didn't mention, Montgomery went high heat. Got Seymour swinging. Just a good fastball up and away from Seymour. We're now a full count against the 2-time academic All-Big Ten honoree and Randy Seymour. And it's in for a strike 3. Swing and a miss.
Just another cutter to that outside corner, just leading that right-handed hitter away. Honestly, it's one of the toughest pitches to hit. When you get down and away and you're just leaning over the plate, nothing good ever happens.
Montgomery's 3rd strikeout of the day. Striking out the big bat and Randy Seymour there is number 1 Ryan McCain. Steps to the plate, who lines one into left field. That'll be a base hit. Gets it by the diving Braden Jeffries. And that's in for a single. So just laced the other way by McKay. He came in there, aggressive approach, first pitch swinging, and he did some damage.
Second hit from Michigan State today by keeping the ball low, not letting the ball get high in the air, elevated, be caught up in the wind. No, their approach is pretty simple today. We want to keep the ball low, get it through the infield, and do our damage there.
And Trent Rice steps up the plate. Player's running. Oh, he's beat by a country mile. He is thrown out of there. So not much of a good jump, but we've mentioned Klingman's prowess behind the plate on full display there. I mean, that throw got in there hours before McKay even arrived.
Yeah, just a bounced breaking ball that, honestly got Klingman up out of his stance. He saw the runner going and got a little dirt ball read, and by the time that the runner checked in to see where that ball was, he was already out.
Check swing, strike there. Pitch down the middle, 87 miles an hour from K. Montgomery. And yeah, that hop actually might have helped Klingman make the throw that he did. Really got him up into position. I mean, he nailed him by a lot. Shows bunt. Bounces foul and off the netting out of play.
Interesting decision to show bunt. Third baseman Drew Culbertson was not, Braden Jeffries was not too far back. He was in line. Interesting decision to show there, especially early in the count.
So high there. Now 3-1 count against Trent Rice, who's hitting .333 on the air, transfer out of Oakland. Doesn't play much, but in the starting lineup today, and that ball is high and ball 4. So pitch kind of up near his head, and Trent Rice can take his base as he shows a little oomph walking down the first base line. Up comes CJ DeKinga, freshman out of Manuka, Illinois. Only hitting .116 on the year. Hasn't played much. Only started in 12 games this year, but this is a freshman they really had high expectations for. He's on the preseason top Big Ten freshman list, looking to really break out. What better opportunity with a guy on first base, 2 outs. First pitch strike. It didn't swing, just right down the middle. Watched it go. So 0-1 count, 2 outs. Trent Rice over there out at first. Montgomery looking to settle things down and get out of the inning. Again, misses. Cutter outside. Ball 2. Oh, no. Yeah, ball 1. So 1-1 count to the Kingo.
Montgomery just not happy with that pitch. Just not competitive. Not close to the zone like it needs to be, especially this early in the game.
Oh, and he finds that pitch inside, though. In for strike 2. Montgomery. Beautiful pitch there. Freezing the Kingo inside the zone. 1-2 count, 2 outs. Rice on first. Montgomery dealing. Throws off the first. Rice there back in time. Montgomery up to 25 pitches. Looking to get another scoreless inning here. In the top of the second. Can get the plate. Pitch again, low. Runner going again. He is out. Ellie Klingman. Back to back. And it just looked too easy. I mean, these guys are out by so much.
Yeah, the runner Trent Rice tried to put a little spin move on the covering shortstop Culbertson, but just not enough not enough movement, not anything to make up for the beautiful throw from Kligman. It was, like you said, out by a country mile.
So Michigan gets out of the inning with 2 runners caught at second base. Montgomery a little bit shakier that inning, let up the base hit, had that uncompetitive walk, but he got bailed out by some really strong defense behind him.
Yeah, honestly, just having a catcher like that behind the plate is so reaffirming. A guy who you know will block for you, who you know will frame for you. It lets you really have access to your entire arsenal. You're not worried about bouncing a pitch when you have a run on first, because Kligman will do exactly what he just did. He'll take that curveball that you bounce and throw it to second for a caught stealing. It's just fantastic. Do have to update you on the new arm for the Spartans. Bobby Crane, left-handed freshman from Grosse Pointe, Michigan. Big frame for Bobby Crane, 6'3", 210. So far this year, he's got a 1.69 ERA in 5 innings. As we said, it's going to be a bullpen game. Michigan State going straight to the bullpen here. Coach Jake Boss Jr. saw all that he could out of J.D. Greeley. Called the bullpen.
So kind of as we expected, Michigan State only keeps Greeley in for the first inning, bringing in, as you mentioned, the lefty Bobby Crane, making his 6th appearance on the year. And up to bat first will be the lefty, Austin Fort. So feels relevant that they bring in a lefty here with a couple of Michigan lefty bats coming up in the lineup, and Austin Fort and Hager. But Greeley did what he had to do. Unclear how much of a leash they were going to give him, and they let him just go that one inning. Got out of it cleanly, and it's going to be a true bullpen day here for the Michigan State Spartans. Bobby Crane, only a freshman, somewhat of a local kid from Grosse Pointe, Michigan. Not too far out from here in Ann Arbor. 6'3", 210. Matthew Austin Fort steps into the dish for the Wolverines. Starting at first base today, the lefty bat hitting .271 on the year, the .729 OPS. First pitch. Ooh, that's some interesting movement at strike 1. Good slider there from Crane, kind of freezing up Austin Fort on the first pitch. 0-1 count, nobody out. Shift is not on here for Austin Fort. Infielders are at their typical depth. Another slider outside, ball 1. So far, 2 early sliders here from Crane against Austin Fort.
Yeah, for
pitch has some wicked movement to it.
Any guy, any lefty who sets himself up all the way on the right side of the mound is going to have some nasty movement.
Ooh. Changeup looks like it hit him. He might try to check the swing, but no. Seems like it hit him and he's motioned first base.
On a cold day like this, it is super hard to grip on a changeup. The ball gets super slippy and it just rides right out, and that's what happened. You know, rears back to throw that changeup against a left-handed hitter, and it just slips out arm side, runs up in on the hands of Austin Fort.
You gotta imagine it hurts a little bit more on a cold day.
I certainly would not want to be hit on a day like today.
So Hager off the bat for the Wolverines, fouls the first one, trying to go bunt. DeKinga sees right for it up the third base line, but that one goes out of play. Evan Hager, only 2 bats in this Wolverines lineup, hitting above 300. He's hitting exactly 300 on the year. 879 OPS out and left. Lefty bat here with Austin Fort on first. 0-1 count. Motions bunt again, but pulls back. Another slider outside. Ball. So 1-1. Hager, despite the high average, seems like he kind of just wants to push Austin Fort over to second with the sacrifice. So 1-1 count. Runner on first. Another foul on a bunt opportunity. Try to get him with the fastball. Hager fouls out of play. 1-2 count. Runner on second. Expecting Hager to swing here. Hager, a redshirt sophomore in New Hudson, Michigan. really having a great year so far in his 17 games of action. Pitch. Line drive. Base hit. To the gap in right center. Hager trying for 2. And he is safe. So Hager legs out at double. Seems like he was totally beat at second. Able to avoid the tag from Ryan McKay, getting to second base safely as Matthew Austin Ford advances to third base. Hager, really nice piece of hitting there. Lacing one over the second baseman's glove.
Yeah, just a terrific approach there. Like we were saying, ball stays low. Just barely gets over the second baseman's glove, but because the wind's blowing into that, that's exactly the type of hitting you need. Gets the ball in the gap, lets the runner advance to third base, and now this is hunting season for Michigan hitters. You've got runners on second and third and no outs. This is exactly what you want to see.
So Greg Pace, Jr., up for the Wolverines here out of Detroit, Michigan. A 265 on the year. 730 OPS. Runners on second and third. Chopper shortstop. Trying to make a throw to first, and Pace is safe, and the runners stay in place. So Pace with an infield single there really legs it out. And now we got opportunity here. No outs, bases loaded for the Wolverines.
I wish everyone at home could see what I just saw, because that was a bit of a nothing burger for a ball hit to the 5-6 hole. You know, expect that runner to be a bit more aggressive, you know, as the shortstop is leaning away, trying to throw across the diamond. But Pace Jr. legs out the single. Now you got bases loaded.
So Culbertson up here, bases loaded, nobody out. Takes first pitch strike down the middle. Culbertson batting 204 this year. 653 OPS. Struggled with runners in scoring position, hitting 190. But an opportunity here with the bases loaded as he chops one up the middle. Throw to second, on to first, double play. So the run will score for the Wolverines. They do take a 1-0 lead. But Michigan State able to kind of make the most of it and turn 2. Get the 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning.
That's the one problem with having the bases loaded. Honestly, if you're Michigan, hope Greg Pace maybe bunts there because he's on first base and because now there's a force out at second. A ground ball up the middle, which otherwise would have been a fantastic, 1 out, 1 run exchange, now becomes a 1-for-2 trade.
Just enough for the Wolverines to get the first run of the game home without the cost of 2 outs. So now runner on third base, Hager. 2 outs, 1 ball to the leadoff hitter, Braden Jeffress. Jeffress flew out last time. Just a can of corn out to center. Jeffress, as we mentioned, a 275 on the year. Been strong with 2 outs, though. 333 hitter. A chance to bring in the second run of the game for the Wolverines. So 2-0 count, 2 outs. Hager on third. Here's the pitch. Goes bunt. Right up the middle, picked up by Crane, who tosses it on to first. Side retired. So the Wolverines bring home their first run of the game, take a 1-0 lead as we head here to the top of the third inning. Felt like there was an opportunity for more there. Bases loaded, nobody out. Only able to turn it to 1 run. But hey, a run's a run, and the Wolverines are on the board as we go into the third inning of action between the Wolverines and the Spartans here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. What are your thoughts on the Wolverines' approach of the play last inning?
I thought they did a great job, really attacking on a freshman arm who has been one of the better arms, honestly, for Michigan State so far. In his 5 innings, pitched a scoreless inning against number 2 team in the nation, Texas Longhorns, and has shut out a couple of the other teams he's faced. Not against Michigan today. Who were able to get on with a combination of a few walks, little infield singles, and that double to the gap, yes, and able to attack, which is exactly what you want to do against a young pitcher in an early season environment. Doesn't really have his legs underneath him yet. You want to shake it early. Get that first runner on, see how you can do damage after that. And that's exactly what Michigan did.
So far for the Wolverines, it's been the small things. Top of the second inning, catching two guys trying to steal second. And then bottom of the inning, really getting like that Hager double, the pace single, 2 base hits that really shouldn't have happened just from Michigan guys hustling out of the box.
Yeah, that's exactly what Tracy Smith has emphasized every single hour of every single day of every single season that he's coached here at U of M. It's his 4th year as the head coach for the Wolverines, and just recently reached the 900 career win milestone. So anyone who's won that much knows how to make sure those little things get done. How to, get those bunts put down, how to run bases extremely well. And that's what he's brought to Michigan ever since Eric Bakich has left.
So as we head here, top of the 3rd inning, Montgomery back out for the Wolverines. DeKinga still up at the plate. Hard ground ball to second, he gets thrown out. So first pitch, 1 out. Strong hands by the second base there, Carson Luna. It was right where the ball was hit. Hard line drive right at him. Scooped it up and threw it out to first base for the first out. That brings up the catcher, Noah Bright. Bright only hitting to a 108 average on the year.
Obviously, you never expect to get as much offensive production out of your catcher as you, say, maybe another defender, but having a catcher hitting,
108.
108?
Not like
oh.
You're
hoping for a bit more.
So 1-1 count, 1 out to the catcher, Noah Bright. Bright from Macomb, Michigan. Started out in JUCO ball, played 2 years at Lansing Community College. Came to the Spartans in 2024. Has become kind of a cog in this lineup. Played 42 games last year. Started 36 of them. But as we mentioned, a sluggish start for him this year. But he lines that one into the gap in left center. Cut off by Hager. Holding Bright to first base. But a really strong piece of hitting there. As he laced that one. For only his 5th hit of the season. So the Spartans are threatening here. Bright on at first base. And back to the top of the lineup with the left fielder, Nick Williams.
0 for 1 so far today. Had a fly out to right field, down the right field line to start the game. Best hit ball so far, I would say, this game. Got all the way out to the warning track, but he's looking to put something in play in this at-bat.
So 1 out, runner on first. First pitch slider. Outside was a ball. Williams, a senior left fielder. Heading to a 230 average on the year. 1-0 count here to him. Montgomery deals. Fastball strike. Got up to 88 there. 1-1 count, 1 out. Williams out of Racine, Wisconsin. Been an important player for the Spartans team over the last couple of years. He's shown in the leadoff spot. He kind of hits a high chopper. Picked up on the third baseman, Jeffers, who throws Williams out at first place. So not an easy play there for Jeffers. That ball hung in the air for what seemed like forever. But able to calmly corral it and make a strong throw to first. Although the runner, Bright, did advance to second base.
Honestly, off first rip, I thought that was a fly ball. He just end capped. But no, bit of a Baltimore chop there. Hung as high as I've seen a ground ball hang. As you said, the runner does advance. So runner on second with 2 outs here.
Thomas here. Runner in scoring position, 2 outs, 1-0 count. Struck out his first time up, had a 3-0 count, but then Montgomery threw 3 straight strikes. Gets that one in for his strike, looking. 87 on the fastball. It's a 1-1 count. Thomas, been a great on-base guy for this Spartans team. 420 OBP. Been really good with 2 outs, hitting over 600 with 2 outs. Got a good 2-out approach. Inside pitch on the hands. Ball 2. So going again to the high heat. Looked like that one kind of slipped out of the hands a little bit. Almost hit Thomas. Now we got a 2-1 count, 2 outs. Runner Bright is on second, not known for his speed. Thomas can't put one in play. Another one clips the outside corner. He's been loving that pitch against Thomas today. Gets it in for strike 2.
Anytime that umpire will give you that outside corner, it's just house money. Especially if you can go back to it.
Oh, swing and a miss.
Because it lets you do that. It lets you throw a changeup off that outside fastball that just sinks away. You never have a chance to hit it, but because you're forced to respect that fastball, you got punch-outs galore, baby.
Montgomery with his 4th strikeout of the day. Gets Thomas to strike out swinging for the 2nd time here in this baseball game. And yeah, he's found success. He's found success with these lefty hitters. Kind of just like forcing pitches the other way, making them swing at it. And Thomas goes down with a chance to tie up this ball game as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Seems like the Spartans are going to keep Bobby Crane out there. Struggled a bit last inning, but was able to kind of put it together when he had to. Is only left with 1 run. And the Wolverines are threatening with the top of the lineup, and Carson Luna will come to the plate when we come back from the break. So far, been a relatively quick game. K. Montgomery kind of dealing in a way that they haven't really seen him pitch like this in a little while. Some of that due kind of to the nature of the competition that the Wolverines have faced so far early in the season. But his stuff has just looked a lot better. It looked like he's more in control and command early in this ball game.
I think that's the takeaway from the first 3 innings of Cade Montgomery today. It's just been the command. Not gotten into many 3-ball counts, and when he has, he's fought back. Especially early on in the game, the ability to stay competitive in counts, not let yourself get too many pitches under your belt early in the game. It's a great thing to see from a starter, especially a veteran who you assume does that day in, day out. So great job by Cade Montgomery, really staying within himself today.
We're going to look to see more of that from him. He kind of slots into that big pitcher role until Carey returns. So Bobby Crane only threw 14 pitches last inning, coming out for a second one. Carson Luna, the second baseman. A bit of a fly out last time to center field. Again, liner right at the center fielder. That looked awfully familiar. Slowly got out in the first inning, but once again, right into the glove of Sturgis out in center. And there's 1 gone for the Wolverines.
Like you were saying, partner, straight deja vu from that first at-bat. Same exact thing, same spot, hit about the same speed. Just unfortunate to see a ball get hung up twice in a row.
Man, that ball just hung up there. Sturgis playing a little shallow. But was perfectly placed for that Luna liner. And up comes the big Colby Turner. Walked his first time. As we've discussed, been like the monster bat in this Michigan lineup, really filling in for the void of some of those guys they lost last year in Void and Casillas. Turner has been that guy they've turned to a 347 average, 996 OPS. Walked his first time up here. And the second pitch is in for his strike, 1-1 count. So 1 out here for Turner. Came all the way from California. You don't see much of that on either one of these teams. A lot of local kids. But Turner up at the plate, 1-1, 1 out. Crane's pitch. Turner fouls it the other way. Just foul the first base line. Hit that one pretty hard. Started jogging down the box a little bit. He's going to have to get back. So 1-2 count. 1 out here for Turner. Really just emerged the power bat. This lineup is really strong extra base hit production. Look at him get on base again here. Like he did in the first inning. Payoff pitch. Swing foul left field side. Out of play ball. Rolls a little bit back into the field. Shortstop Murphy goes out there to grab it. Throw it to the ball boy. Some activity going on in the Michigan bullpen.
Number 41, Grant Bradley. Right-handed sophomore see if he comes in this inning or next, depending on how Cade Montgomery.
Turner hits one deep, left field, high off the wall. And Turner slides into second. He's safe with a double. So anywhere else in the park, that ball is gone. Hits it off the retire numbers out and left. That brick wall keeps it in play. But Turner absolutely roped that one.
Yeah, that ball had some juice on it. Top spin almost the way that it started caving down towards that wall. Just an absolute piece coming off the bat of Colby Turner.
So the left field wall got some famous Michigan legends. Their name, their picture, their number. It's a little bit of an eyesore out and left. Doesn't really fit the rest of the wall, but helped the Spartans there. Just kept the ball in the ballpark. Ball hit, shortstop side. Trying to pick off. Turner throws he gets stuck in a pickle, and he is out. So a very interesting play there. Klingman hits it as shortstop. They noticed Turner was running, throws it to third. Turner tried to get back to second, got caught in a pickle. He's tagged out. Klingman took advantage of the situation, got to second, so they pretty much just trade spots. But with the additional out, now there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
That's just poor base running. There's really no other way to put it. Anytime you have a shortstop going to his right and you a runner on second, you know that the only out he can consistently get is to third base. You know that you're the only chance that shortstop, that's giving him a handout to give that out at third base. You never want to make an out at third base, but especially in a situation like this. Luckily, Klingman is able to get to second during the pickle, so a bit of the foul of things taken away, but it's just a free out. Could have first and second right now.
So Cade Laidhoff up the dish. 1-1 count here. 2 outs. 0 for 1 of the day with a pop up to the shortstop. But another chance here with runners threatening. Klingman on second. 2 outs. Hits one high and far and foul down the left field line. Laidhoff only hitting 208 this year as runners in scoring position. But it's been really strong with 2 outs, hitting .333. I mentioned 0 for 1 today. Got the dish for the 1-2 count and 2 outs. Pitch high and outside, ball 2. So Crane kind of lost that one a little bit. It evens the count here at 2-2 with a runner Klingman over at second. Michigan leading 1-0 in the 3rd inning of this ball game. Payoff pitch. Outside again, 3-2. So Laidhoff down 1-2 in the count. He's forced back-to-back balls. We now have a full count here, 2 outs, bottom 3rd. 1-0 Wolverines. Laidhoff hitting .242 on the year. Pitch. High pop-up. Catcher takes off his mask. And Bright is under it for the 3rd out. So Laidhoff again, leaving runners stranded, and that'll do it for the bottom of the 3rd inning. 1 hit and no runs for the Wolverines, keeping this game 1-0. Michigan seemed like they had a chance after that Turner double. Not able to get another hit. And we enter this 4th inning. Still 1-0. Both teams keep it relatively close.
Unfortunate for Michigan that it stays 1-0, but honestly, I don't know if you can expect otherwise after that base running performance there from Colby Turner.
Turner seems like he really squandered an opportunity there. Just not a heads-up baseball play, as you mentioned. Shortstop's going to his right. He has an easy toss over to third. There was no point even threatening to run.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, gets himself caught in a pickle and did some damage to the Michigan inning. So there has been a pitching change. Montgomery out. Grant Bradley, number 41, in for the Wolverines. Montgomery's going to leave the game with 3 clean, scoreless innings. Bradley, a sophomore, out of Brooklyn, Michigan. Only appearing his 4th game this year. Has yet to allow a run in 9.1 innings at work. He has a save. Hitters are only hitting 176 against him. So the guy hasn't thrown so much this year, but in his spots has been a reliable, seemingly middle innings guy for this Wolverines team.
Yeah, seems to be the first guy coming out of the pen, especially on a bullpen game like this. He's got 3 appearances of 3 innings each, one against San Diego, Pepperdine, and Western Michigan. So, honestly, a bit of a short stretch since his last appearance, but he's been one of their most consistent arms out of the bullpen so far, yet to allow an earned run this year. He's been the guy to kind of clean up the dirty work in between.
Yeah, so Grant Bradley hasn't been asked to pitch in many of the weekend. He actually played San Diego, Pepperdine, Western Michigan. I guess that was their home opener here during the week. But he's been effective. Big righty arm, sophomore, 6'3", 215. He's going to start by facing Dayton Murphy. Singles last time up, and we've talked about he is big-time bat in the Spartan lineup, hitting 366 on the year. Got on last time with a single. First pitch, grounder, third base, easily thrown out at first. That'll be the first out. So Murphy topped that one a little bit. Just a little weak chopper over to Jefferson at third, and he had a pretty easy throw over to first. And that'll be the first out here in this inning. Number 8, Isaac Sturgis steps to the plate. Sturgis been busy in center today. However, struck out swinging his first time up in the first inning. First pitch by Bradley, outside, ball 1. Bradley, 9 strikeouts on the year. Only 2 walks. Pitch coming. Laced down the right field line, but out of play, foul. So Sturgis jumped out one, but a little bit too early. Foul and out of play. Cold day here in Ann Arbor. You look around. Stands, everyone's bundled up in their jackets and beanies. Some even smartly brought blankets. These players seem pretty warm. Pitch. Hit. Second base side. It's through for a base hit. So Sturgis is on for his second single of the game. Similar spot he hit that first one. Kind of passed in between that hole between first and second, and Sturgis on once again.
Bradley named one of the Big Ten players to watch in 2026 alongside of Michigan players Tate Carey and Miller, but it's been a pretty limited exposure so far.
Seymour foul there.
It was a good piece of hitting by Seymour, just a little bit ahead of it, got the head of the bat out. Seems like a 2-pitch mix so far. Fastball slider action. At least that's what we've seen from the press box here.
Seymour struck out swinging his first time up. Run on first here, 0-1 count, 1 out. 260 hitter on the year. Pitch, inside with a strike. Nicked that inside part of the plate. And now Bradley has been an 0-2 count with 1 out. Sturgis over there at first with a bit of a lead. Ossofor keeping him honest. Standing on that bag. Next pitch, swung. Looped in center field. Base hit. Sturgis thought about going to third. Held up, kept it at second. But now the Spartans have a chance here, first and second. Only 1 out in this inning after back-to-back singles from Sturgis and Seymour.
Greg Pace Jr. started that at-bat, shaded it a little bit to the right side of second base, and obviously bloop single to the shorthand side, short left field area. Maybe you think that shift prevented him from getting to that ball, maybe catching it in the air. It's just unfortunate.
Oh, next pitch, grounder, second base, toss to short, on to first, double play out of the inning.
Big defense from the Michigan middle infield there. Really quick transfer. Got the ball across for the 4-6-3.
So it seemed like The Spartans had a chance there, first and second. Bradley, new pitcher in the game, struggling a bit, but got the ground ball that he needed. And we head now to the bottom of the fourth inning. Ryan McKay, the culprit of that double play. And the Wolverines able to leave unscathed to get out of the top of the fourth. It appears that the Spartans have made another pitching change. Bobby Crane pitched 2 innings, allowed 1 run, couple hits.
Now we have Logan Piker, the 6'4" right-handed junior from West Bloomfield, Michigan. Another somewhat local guy. Made 20 appearances in 2025, so last season, 4 games started, yet only 32 innings, so it seems like he's been a reliever or an opener at least in both of his years here, or all 3 of his years here at Michigan State.
Piker, junior, right-handed arm. Coming in for Bobby Crane, who left the 1 run, but felt like it could have been a lot more. I think Michigan State can only be happy that they're only down 1-0 in this game, considering some of the base runners that the Wolverines had on in the second inning. But Piker's thrown a lot of innings this year, thrown 15 innings, has not been the most effective. Only 1 scoreless outing, and that was against Eastern Michigan. Every other time he's come in, he's faced some damage. Actually started on March 1st against James Madison through 6 innings, 2-run ball that day. But traditionally seems like he's more of a middle bullpen arm. Guy that can get a little bit of length out of here. We're only in the 4th inning. Up to bat for the Wolverines. Be first baseman again, Matt Ossenfort. Hit by a pitch, scored in the 2nd inning. The lone run for the Wolverines. And he's coming back to the plate here to face the righty Logan Piker. Thrown to a 9.77 ERA this year. Looking to find it. Hard hit ball up the middle. Off Piker's glove. Picked up by the second baseman and in time for the out. So strong defensive there by Ryan McKay. Noticed the bouncing ball. Picked it up cleanly. And threw out the slower Ossenfort with seemingly good amount of time left.
Good piece of hitting there, but unfortunately Piker using all of his 6'4" of height to get up there and just stop the ball a little bit so it doesn't leave the infield. Let the second baseman, I believe, playing deep in his shift, have a chance to get to that ball. Shift stays on again for Evan Hager.
Hager doubled last time on a sharp liner over the second baseman's glove. Like turn, but could have been a single into a double. Wow, Michigan to score their first run of the game. 0-1 count, 1 out, ball outside. So 1-1 now to Hager, who's now upped his average to 317 on the year. 928 OPS from the kid out of New Hudson, Michigan. Son of former Michigan pitcher Greg Hager. Played here from 1988 to 1990. Comes from a Michigan family. Ball 2 inside. Kind of highly touted recruit. Former top 200 guy. Play a little bit anywhere in the outfield. Speed, versatility. Nice bat to have in this Michigan lineup.
Yeah, I'm glad to have him in Ann Arbor, where he's able to spend the first 2 years of his collegiate experience elsewhere. Started off in Houston. Started in Alabama. Got no appearances there. Then went to Houston, where he was able to make some starts. Only 11 starts in the season, but 40 appearances. But this year, really come into that starter role. Really great utility guy. Great glove to have in the outfield at all times.
So Hager hits that one foul. 2-2 count here, 1 out, nobody on. For the sophomore left fielder, Evan Hager. Pitch. Swung, roped again, left field side, also out of play into the Michigan bullpen. So Hager fouls another one off. 2-2 count. 1 out for number 0. Shift is on for Hager. 3 guys playing on the left field line. To Kinga. The third baseman playing over by third, and he takes another pitch for a ball. So 3-2 full count. Cutter missed there. Strong approach here from Hager. Just battling out this at-bat.
Yeah, great job to, fight off the pitches that aren't quite perfect, but then take pitches that are, start borderline, breaking ball down in the zone and then eventually drop out.
Payoff pitch. Swing, fouled off again. Cutter. Seems like Hager thought he could have gotten a better piece of that one. But fouls it off into the backstop. And the count remains 3-2 with 1 out. Nobody on. Logan Picker, the big righty on the mound for the Spartans. Pitch. Outside ball 4. Hager, a professional at bat there to get himself on board and get things moving for this Wolverines offense. He's now on first base. Pace up for the Wolverines. Infield single his last time up. Now I got the speedy Hager over at first. Pace up his average to 280 on the year. 753 OPS.
Big hole on the right-hand side as the second baseman covers the base.
Oh, and Hager's running. Throw, high, over the head of the second baseman. Hager's going to go for 3. Sturridge just throw, not in time.
Speed kills, baby. Evan Hager just proved it. Got a terrific jump off first, got all the way to second. The throw from Bright, the catcher, was just way too high. Leaping shortstop could not field it. He stumbled. Hager did, turning around second, but still managed to get on his feet for the head-first slide into third. Just fantastic base running from the redshirt sophomore there.
Didn't even waste a beat. So infield in, Hager on third. 1-0 count, 1 out. Infield play into the grass. State does not want to let up another run here as we're already down 1-0 this ball game. And they know Hager's quick, so anything that stays in the infield, you're going to have to get that throw home as soon as possible with the speed already that Evan Hager has showcased in this game.
This is where you need situational hitting from a veteran junior. You need a fly ball to the outfield that's deep enough to get Hager in. Outfield already is shifted in, so you just need to get it out to them, or an infield hit that sneaks through or gets someone on their belly. Once you get someone diving out, there's very little chance they can pop up, make a throw to catch a speedy Hager.
Pitch. Ball again. So Picker throwing a little bit around pace here. 3-1 count. 1 out. Missed with the sinker. Hager over at third. Slight lead off the bag. Pitch. Right at the first baseman. Hager thought about running for a second. Decides to stay in the bag. Smart play by Randy Seymour, the Michigan State first baseman, just looking off Hager. Walking back to the bag with confidence. Getting the pace out. And now the Spartan defense can return to kind of normal depth. With 2 outs here, and Drew Culbertson, the shortstop, coming to the plate. Culbertson, a junior, played in all of Michigan's contests so far this year. Only hitting .200. And struggled with runners in scoring position, only hitting .182. They're going to need a base hit out of him here if Michigan wants to score another run. So 0-1 count to Culbertson. At Greenwood, Indiana. Strong glove over there at short. Pitch. Shows bunt. Wild pitch. Over the catcher's head. And in comes Hager to take a 2-0 lead. Doesn't even need the slide. So it seems like the pitch, maybe expecting slider, didn't break over the catcher's head. And Hager could have walked in for that one.
just an absolute cement mixer there from Logan Piker. Breaking ball that hangs up, spins around forever, never breaks down. Catcher Noah Bright really had no chance to make the stop there. He could leap out of his squat as much as he wants, but he was never getting to that ball.
The Wolverines take a 2-0 lead. Pitch outside, 2-1 count here to Culbertson. Evan Hager really just did it all himself. Worked his way out to first. And then nabbed the rest of those bases. Pitch, blooper, sliding grab made by the right fielder Trent Rice to get the Spartans out of the inning. But not after the Michigan Wolverines score another one to extend their lead to 2-0. No hits, pretty much just Evan Hager right there for the Wolverines.
Evan Hager going to work. Yeah. But see, that's the small things that we were talking about a little bit earlier. Well, you don't see it with Colby Turner. You definitely see Evan Hager contributing his fair share. And, Skipper Smith definitely has to be happy with that. You get on base with a 6, maybe 7-pitch walk, and then you get all the way around the bases without any help from a hitter. That's just putting it on Evan Hager's back and watching him work.
He's just been a special player for the Wolverines this year. Even won the Surprise College Baseball Series MVP honors out in Arizona to start the year when the Wolverines really got off to that hot start, beating ranked Oregon State and Arizona. Cooled off a little bit, but really kind of just found his stride. Strong performance against UCLA Bruins this weekend out in Los Angeles. He scored a run and really kind of been everywhere for this Wolverines team today. Being a real key cog in both their 2 runs. As Grant Bradley returns to the mound for the Wolverines. Got out of the inning, got out of the 4th inning. Unscathed, looks to do it again here. In the top of the 5th. As the Wolverines take a 2-0 lead against these Michigan State Spartans. And Trent Rice will lead off for the Spartans. Trent Rice will lead off for the Spartans. 333 average. 944 OPS on the year. Got on last time with a walk, but then was thrown out by Klingman trying to steal second. First pitch to Rice. High ball 1. Fastball up to 90 miles per hour for Bradley there. Bradley only threw 8 pitches last inning. So able to give Michigan some more work here in the second. Inning of work. Deep fly ball. Sends Pace back, but he's under it for the second out. So strong piece of hitting there from Rice. Kind of corked it out near the wall in right center, but Pace under it as the ball kind of just stood up there for just enough time for the first out for the Wolverines.
That's exactly what you want to see out of an early, long-term reliever. Another 2-pitch at bat, just really getting at these hitters, making them get themselves out. That's exactly what you want to see from an arm like Bradley.
So CJ DeKingo walks into the box for the Spartans here. Grounded out to second last time, only hitting 114 on the year. We've mentioned he's one of their prize freshman prospects, a guy they kind of had high expectations coming into the season. Has not necessarily lived up to those yet, but still young, still a lot of promise, a lot of potential. As he fouls out one away for a 1-1 count, 1 out near the cars outside the stadium. I know they put up the sign telling people not to park there, but seemingly people do not care. There are cars just begging to get hit by a baseball out in foul ground.
Hey, if you find a parking spot anywhere in Ann Arbor, you take it. Yeah. That's something I've learned since I got here. Partner, I don't know why they wouldn't expect DeKinga to come out to a hot start. I mean, he was the number 8 prospect in his home state of Illinois, coming out of high school, number 1 ranked outfield third base combo. You expect him to kind of come in, make an immediate impact, especially in a sport like college baseball where, guys get drafted. And, maybe refuse to sign. Guy like Drew Burris come instead to have an immediate impact here.
So DeKinga's struggles continue as he strikes out looking. Bradley's first strikeout of the day. Still only had 15 pitches. With nobody on and 2 outs for the senior catcher, Noah Bright. Line just single out to left center's first time up. Similar spot here. Out towards left, but under it is Evan Hager. And that'll do it. It's a 3 up, 3 down for Bradley as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Another clean inning of work for these Wolverines.
Just 7 pitches for 3 out. Well hit balls. Better hit balls than we've seen so far from a lot of Michigan State hitters. Bright having a little bit of a good day with the stick, making solid contact, but still, balls hang up a little bit, find a glove, find a defender. That's exactly what you want to see out of a reliever.
Picker seems like he's going to come out here for another inning.
Yeah, that's honestly, when you're in the position now, down 2-0, you're going to see guys stretched out for a little bit longer because you're saving arms. Your offense has done not that much so far today. That's what you're kind of expecting to see.
That's kind of been a theme this year. We're talking about this. It's been a theme for the Michigan State bats. Like, they've just struggled to get runs home. And we have only 6 games. There's been 6 games this year. They've only scored 1 run.
I was looking at the box scores in preparation for this game, and it seemed like every game this season for the Michigan State Spartans ended with them losing 2-6. It's just what it felt like. 2 or 1-6. Bullpen comes in. Not much production out of them, and not many runs coming across for the green and white.
Against struggling Kane Montgomery, who we talked about, has not looked good for a little while. They look at 3 clean innings of work. Grant Bradley the same. Yeah, bats also just it feels like they're kind of coming out swinging early. They're not getting these long at bats. Struggling to get on base. We'll see what the Michigan offense can do here. Already a 2-0 lead. Facing Picker's second inning, and they got top of the order with Jeffers up.
Yeah, like you were saying, partner, Michigan's going to look to Braden Jeffress, who's coming in 0 for 2 today so far. Little fly out to center and a ground ball to the first baseman. Still, they're going to look to see if he can produce a little bit of offense here. As the first pitch is a bit of an arm side sinker. It'll run off the table. Not a very competitive pitch. Jeffress had 1 foot out of the box by the time the catcher caught it. See if he can come back in the zone here. And he will, as Jeffress lines the ball out to center field. We're seeing numbers from the center fielder who will make a sliding attempt to keep it in front of him, but he will do nothing to prevent Brendan Jeffries from hitting a stand-up double here to start the inning. Great way to start an inning with a leadoff double.
Something I've noticed, these Michigan State outfielders are playing at a pretty shallow distance. So luckily the center fielder there, Sturge, was able to come in and make a diving play before it got by him, but that thing almost ran to the wall. And Jeffers could have been trotting on to third, maybe even home, but held up at second there, but just an awesome piece of hitting. Good approach, strong, just liner right up the middle. He's able to get to second base.
Now we'll see if Carson Luna can contribute to the Michigan offense today as he tries to square and lay down a bunt. And that'll roll foul down the right line. Not much going. He did try to square earlier in his previous at-bat. Couldn't get it down there.
That's been the approach so far for the Wolverines. They got guys on base, no outs. Just a clear philosophical. Yeah, like they want to just get that runner over.
Here comes the 0-1 pitch. He'll square again and lay down a beautiful drag bunt. See if it'll stay fair. And it just will not. Just rolls foul about 3/4 way down that third base baseline. Great defensive play by C.J. DeKinga there to let that ball roll foul. so that you can keep Carson Luna off the base
And
paths.
for a second there, it seemed like he had laid down the perfect bunt.
Oh, yeah. I was hopeful. I'll say that much.
Smart play by Nikiga just to let it roll a little bit more. And it went out of play, but I got to swing now.
0-2 pitch. Piker's licking his chops here, see if he can put him away. And he won't. Ground ball up the middle to the second baseman, who will throw away for the putout, but will not prevent Braden Jeffries from making his way to third base. Now, 1 out for the Michigan Wolverines with a runner on third base. Exactly the situational hitting you were kind of talking about. The little things, the small ball. Carson Luna was not able to lay it on a bunt, but he was able to get the runner over.
And I thought it was really just heady base running by Jeffries. Noticed that it was going to be a bit of a chopper. Might take some time to get to the shortstop. And he went the second that pitch was off the bat. And he was able to get into third base really cleanly. Shortstop didn't even make a look there.
Now Colby Turner, hot off of a double off the left field wall, will come up. First pitch swinging will fall one back off the right side. Took a 91-mile-per-hour heater and put it in the cars, but not across the right fence for Michigan. He'll come back with an 0-1 count.
Turner hit that one out to the IM building up by the track.
Logan Piker coming back for the 0-1. Another foul ball basically to the same exact spot. Those runners on the track right off the right field line, they get to go home with a souvenir. 2 Colby Turner fly balls that just land foul.
You're able to get swing a little late on these 2 fastballs. Wonder if he goes back to her and tries to bury him off speed here.
He does go off speed. Colby Turner pops it up to shallow center field. Center fielder coming in, makes a throw. It'll keep the runner, Braden Jeffries, on the base pass. So a fly ball, you hope you can get the runner in, but just too shallow to make anything happen. Michigan now 2 outs in the inning. And a leadoff double potentially squandered away here. Ellie Kligman will come up, the senior, catching today for the Wolverines.
I'm actually ruling his last plate appearance, the one where they threw over to third, as a double.
He's 0 for 1 today. Another foul ball here for another Michigan hitter as he fouls it off to the left side.
Oh, sorry, fielder's choice. That was the runner before.
2 at-bats so far for Kligman. A walk to lead off the game for him, and a fielder's choice 5-4. He'll try to get in the hit column. He checks the swing, but the umpire calls it. Let's see if they can get an appeal down the third base line. Seems not, you're a home plate umpire. You're there to call balls and strikes, not check swings. Really wish got put up for appeal, but no, home plate umpire says that's a strike. So we'll go 0-2, 2 outs here to Ellie Kligman. That's a ball high and away. Now to 1-2.
He's really been sticking that fastball all inning. He can get it up there, throwing like the 91, 92 range. Wonder if now it's time to try and put him away with something else or stick to economy here.
1-2 from the 3/4 slot. That's just high. Another fastball at 91. Now Piker. Deuce is wild. 2-2, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. See if Ellie Kligman can put one on the grass and score third Michigan run this game. Here's the pitch. Ball inside. Worked full by Kligman. Missed again with the fastball, 92 miles an hour. Kligman had to jump out of the way to prevent himself from being hit by pitch. With 2 strikes and 2 outs, you kind of hope he stays in and wears one.
Seems like he did not want to face that pitch. But put himself in a good spot here, 3-2. Worked out of.
Hey, 92 miles an hour when it's 32 degrees, I wouldn't want to be hit either. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Piker. Fouled off the hands of Kligman. Great job to stay alive.
Kind of knuckled that one.
Yeah.
Really got him in on the hands, but strong of Kligman to be able to punch that one out and keep this bat alive.
He's lucky he's swinging metal, because if that's a wood bat, it's in about 1,000 pieces right now.
Splattered all over this field.
Another 3-2 pitch here. And it's a swing and a miss from Kligman. Waved at a slider.
He set that one up. I mean, he threw like 10 straight fastballs, only to completely fool him that 79-mile-an-hour off-speed one.
Just an absolute frisbee from Piker to get the Spartans out of the 5th inning with no runs on the board. Through 5, Michigan up 2-0. Partner, I got to say, that is a surprising effort from Piker to keep Michigan off the board with a leadoff double. What did you see?
Yeah, Piker coming in relief, throwing his second inning to work, leadoff double. I mean, Kligman gave him at least a 7-8 pitch at bat, but he's able to battle through it and really through. I thought his best pitch of the inning there was his last one.
I certainly agree.
Have the juice to be able to still pump out a ball like that. You're a little tired. Been throwing now 2 innings of work. Impressive stuff from Piker, and you know what? This game is still a 2-run game. Michigan not done enough to kind of distance themselves from the Spartan team.
Once again, it kind of seems like a quiet start from the Wolverines offensively. Been the story so far, at the very least.
Be interesting to see. Seeing Bradley here. And this is kind of bringing out for our 3rd inning of work. Typically, that's kind of the extent of what they're willing to throw with him. And we'll see how he does. They're bringing out 3rd inning, top of the order. There have been some struggles, but definitely top of the order for this Michigan State team. There's some guys that can really hit. It'll be interesting to see if Bradley can kind of weather that.
Yeah, like you were saying, partner. Now approaching the 3rd time through the lineup for the Michigan State Spartans. See if their eyes are warmed up for the day. First up to the plate in this 6th inning is Nick Williams. He's 0 for 2 today, had a fly out to right and a ground ball stopped by Drew Cobbleton at shortstop. He's trying to get in the hit column. Now hitting .226 on the season. Steps into the plate. Stocky build. Powerful from the bottom up, Nick Williams. Bit of a senior leadership position here for the Spartans. Anytime a senior's hitting leadoff. As he takes this first pitch and misses on a fastball on the outside corner. Swing and a miss for the 0-1.
It's a really good pitch for Bradley to start the inning there. Keep him on his toes with a fastball.
And he's working fast up again with a fastball to the top corner. It's 0-2 on Nick Williams.
Bradley again, just back-to-back, kind of same spot, different speeds. He's got Williams in an 0-2 count right now.
Working fast. Here comes the 0-2. And it's a ground ball back to Culbertson at third base. He'll throw across a dig for the first baseman, Ossenfort. That'll be enough to retire Nick Williams. Nice little pick play from your first baseman. Bit of a uncomfy position for him to be in, a bit of a tweener ball, but he still finds a way to make the put out.
That was a really impressive play there by Ossenfort. Kind of adjust his body angle a little bit, but still able to make the pick play and get the first out.
Now Camry Williams shoots a ground ball up the middle, right to the glove of Culbertson, who makes another slick play. Better throw. He'll record the second out of the inning.
That's what Culbertson's going to bring you at shortstop. Really just like sure hands. Ball took a bit of a hop off the mound, but got to feel that kind of right into his glove and into his throwing hand.
He's been a member of this Michigan team for 4 years now. Yeah, just defensive vacuum cleaner out there at shortstop. Now up to the plate Dayton Murphy. And on this first pitch, he'll line it back to Culbertson to make his second straight put out. Nice little third out of the inning on a line drive ball. No assist needed. He'll make the put out. Another quick inning. Quick inning for the Michigan reliever. Grant Bradley now through his third inning of work. What are you seeing?
Feels like this game's been flying by, but Grant Bradley, we were talking coming into the inning, like, kind of already reaching the limits of what he's capable of, facing the top of the order. He probably got out of there in like 4 or 5 pitches. He made very quick work of this Spartan lineup here. Obviously, he was helped by some nice defensive plays behind him, but I thought Bradley was just like, was aggressive, had a good pitch mix, and just kind of like didn't strike so many people out, but he's forcing not the strongest contact from the Spartan team, and he was able to make 3 innings of quick work.
Yeah, in just
Wolverines alive here.
3 innings and just 21 pitches, 17 strikes out of those 21s. If that's not efficient, I don't know what is. Well,
Wolverines might have really found something with this Bradley guy.
Yeah.
I knew he's someone to kind of watch coming into the year, but has really just been like a stabilizing force in the middle of this bullpen. And to have a guy like that, who like your starter, wherever, you don't want to get so much length out of him, only push him 3 innings, and then you're like, you know what, we can pull in Bradley and he'll give us another 3 innings of clean work. That is such a luxury to have. And even if you start seeing him maybe like end the bullpen too, get some saves, just a valuable asset for relief for this Wolverine team, and he showcased that today against their crosstown rival.
Well, we have a new pitcher in the game for the Spartans here. Number 15, Gannon Grunman, a left-handed junior, 6'4", 200 out of Howell, Michigan. He's got a bit of a limited usage so far this season. 0-2 in terms of decisions in 12 innings of baseball. He's got a 10.66 ERA. Bit of a better whip, though, 229. So that's suggesting that, you know, not the best hitting outcomes, but still good, solid pitching.
Like, Michigan State seems like they want to use a little bit more this year. Only made 12 appearances last year, but it's kind of come in, already thrown 12 innings this year, making his 9th appearance. As you mentioned, the numbers have not looked great. 10.66 ERA. The lefty arm. See what he can do here against righty bat.
Cade Ladoff in the box for the first pitch. Fastball for a strike here. Bit of a right down the middle. Ladoff 0-2 on the day. Pop out to the shortstop and a fly. Balls for outside for the 1-1 count.
Lead off 0 for 2 today.
Working.
Had 2 opportunities with guys in scoring position.
Working quick. Here's the third pitch. A ground ball to shortstop. Dayton Murphy, who will quickly make the throw across to the first baseman to get the first out of the inning.
Looks like the ball got almost like stuck there for a second in Murphy's glove, but he's able to kind of force it out of there and still be laid off.
Sure-handed shortstop will make the assist over to Seymour. Now Matthew Ossenfort will walk into the box. Junior first baseman here today. First pitch swinging, he'll foul that down into the dirt. It'll never leave the batter's box, but good healthy hack. 0-0. Now 0-1 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 0 for 1 today. A little hit by pitch in the second. And a ground ball in the 4th. As here's the second pitch, a bit of a hanging slider that'll sneak in front door on Ossenfort.
It's a hard pitch to hit as a lefty.
Lefty on lefty crime there. Ossenfort now steps in for the third pitch of this at-bat. And it's a fastball that's fouled right back. 89 miles per hour from the junior lefty. Ossenfort right back on time on that fastball. 0-2. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss up high. Doesn't quite elevate up to the high fastball that Grundman puts right above his hands for the second out of the inning.
Grundman only gets that fastball at 89, but that thing was perfectly placed. Up and high in the zone, right where Osifort couldn't touch it. That's good for the second out of this inning. So Grundman, as we mentioned, not been the most efficient or effective this year, but so far made quick work of the Wolverines.
In steps Evan Hager, who's having a great day so far. He'll take a first pitch slider front door. Again, same pitch he threw to Osifort. Now on Hager for the 0-1 count with 2 outs here in the 6th.
Hager's been the spark plug for this Wolverine team today. Just power them to these 2 runs.
Here's the second pitch of the at-bat, and that'll be fouled down the right field line. Bit of a ground ball off the hands. Hager's checking to make sure they're still there right now in this cold, brittle weather. 0-2 on the sophomore red shirt. He tries to lengthen this inning. Here's the 0-2, and that's just a bit high on the fastball. Tried to go back to the same combination, but sat on by Hager. He won't let that one get by.
Yeah, it's the same pitch Osifort swung and missed on for strike 3. But you're right that Hager able to watch the one go by, keep this at bat alive.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. And right on the outside corner, but the umpire doesn't give it. It'll be a 2-2 count here on Hager. What a fantastic take.
This is what Hager has done today. He did this as his last at bat too. Down 0-2, able to work out a walk. Right there, really incredible take on a pitch that it's hard to lay off with 2 strikes.
The 2-2 is a slider to the same spot. Catcher almost threw it around, but Bright's got to hold on to that as that is another ball. 3-2 now the count to Evan Hager.
Hager is like the Juan Soto vision out there right now, looking off these pitches that seemingly are sure strikes up in the press box, but the ump agrees with him and their balls.
Payoff pitch is a fastball inside that Hager cannot get to. He swings right over it. That's a K right there for the redshirt sophomore. 1-2-3 inning for Grundman as he comes in the 6th for his relief appearance.
You know what? Might be bullpen day here in Ann Arbor, but both these pens have looked really, really strong so far. Honestly, the chances that both teams have had in this game were almost earlier in the game. The last couple innings, it's just been 3 up, 3 down for both pitchers. They're going to bring up Bradley for a 4th inning after only throwing maybe 4 pitches the last one.
Yep. They're going to extend him out in this game because he is pitching so efficiently. He may have only thrown a third of an inning in his last appearance, but he's only got 21 pitches through 3 innings. In terms of your average outing, that's an inning and a half maybe. Most pitchers average 13 to 15 pitches an inning. He's good for 2 or 3 more.
Yeah,
He's averaging.
It seems like both these teams, I think, kind of came to the consensus of we're not playing in baseball weather right now. This is low 30s, cloudy, no sun in the sky. And both teams seem like they want to get out of here pretty quickly. They've allowed these relievers that they have not been the most efficient to just make clean work. Graham Bradley, on the other hand, we've spoken about him really kind of coming to his own early in this season, and he's already gone 3 innings. I think he's going to be pushing into a 4th. This might be the most he's kind of pushed it all year. But he's been dealing. He has not made life easy for this Spartan lineup.
Speaking of the Spartan lineup, the first hitter for the green and white will be Isaac Sturgis, wearing the number 8, playing center for them today. He's 1 for 2 so far in this game with a punch out in the first inning and a little single in the 4th. He'll step in for his 3rd at-bat of the day. First pitch is a fastball way outside, up to 90 miles per hour for Grant Bradley. He'll look to move quick with 12 seconds left on the pitch clock. Here's pitch 2, and that is a line drive to center field. Greg Pace Jr. going back, looking over his right shoulder. He'll make the catch deep in that center field gap. It's just tremendous anytime you can have a center fielder cover gap to gap like Greg Pace Jr.
His range is so good. Just the anticipation he has. With another center fielder, that one could have been a gapper, but he just read that one right off the bat and was able to make that play look easy. Pace also, it's a tough guy. The only guy I've seen down there on the field today not wearing sleeves under his jersey. Letting the arms show in these freezing conditions.
No sun, but still guns out. Here's the first pitch to senior Randy Seymour. He'll foul it off down the left side. First pitch swinging for the first baseman. He's 1 for 2 today. Same story as Isaac Sturgis. He's got a K and a single in the second and fourth. Another pitch will be fouled straight back. This time a slider, as it's now 0-2 to Randy Seymour.
Bradley's placement on these pitches is just so strong. Most of the time where he wants to throw it, he will throw it.
He's going to rear back for the 0-2 pitch here as he puts a slider in the dirt to get Seymour. What a terrific spot on that pitch. Kliegman just pulls it right around, makes the throw down to first for the putout. He's dealing again. But it looks like the bullpen will be called here for the Wolverines. Pitching coach making his way out to the mound. As Michigan prepares for a new pitcher to enter the game, looks like number 30, Shane Brenham? Maybe. We'll see here.
Grant Bradley, take a bow. That is, and everyone's coming out of the dugout to Greeno. He gave the Wolverines an absolutely impeccable performance today. You really can't ask for much more out of your reliever. And he walks out back into the dugout. Guys are shoving him. He's smiling. He knows what he just did for this Wolverine team was crucial in the middle of this game. Only 26 pitches.
26 pitches.
Three and 2/3 inning work of no-run ball. That's about as good as it gets.
Well, now entering the game for the Wolverines on the mound, lefty Shane Brenham wearing the number 30. He's a 6'1", 181 freshman from North Vancouver, British Columbia. The Canadian Big Maple up there on the mound. He has had an up and down start. 9 innings this season. Now up to 12 after pitching in the City of Angels in Los Angeles against the Bruins. He showed early that he can be a high strikeout reliever in big matchups, but some struggles with command here or there for the freshman.
Yeah, Brenham, as you mentioned, the Canadian kid. Michigan has a lot of Canadian pitchers on their squad. And yeah, pitched to a 5.11 ERA. Get some strikeouts. Had a massive save against Arizona early in the season when they won that game out in Arizona. And been this big strikeout guy, just as you mentioned, just trying to find his command, trying to settle in. He's a young kid, but a kid that the Wolverines really believe has a lot of potential.
Yes, definitely. Love to see how he continues to attack the Michigan State hitter, see if he can continue the type of game that Grant Bradley was having where, you know, as soon as you step in the plate, you better be ready to swing. So Michigan's going to come at you. Now stepping into the box for the Spartans is Ryan McKay.
Something to watch with Brenham is just some of the walk struggles. Walked 5 guys in only 2 innings in his last outing against UCLA. I want to clean some of that up against the Spartans here right now.
First pitch here is a first pitch breaking ball that'll find the zone at 75 miles an hour. He's got the opportunity to face Ryan McKay, the junior here. 1 for 2 on the day with a single way back in the second inning. His second pitch is a fastball low and away. Getting to the turf. Good scoop by Kligman to keep that ball in front of him.
You can see what this Wolverine staff is talking about when they say they believe in Brenham. And that first pitch, the movement on that was gorgeous.
Here's a third pitch, line drive out to right field. That'll fall. That'll fall for Ryan McKay. A single here in the bottom of the sixth, as Michigan State has their first base runner with 2 outs here on a 1-1 pitch.
And similar movement that we were discussing on that first pitch, but that one just leaked over the plate a little bit too much. And McKay with a strong piece of hitting, able to muscle that one for a single into right field.
You know the saying, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on... Yeah, you know the saying.
George Bush right now.
Yeah.
Your point is taken.
Yeah.
He'd seen that pitch before, and he was able to... That one had a little too much play to it. He was able to get that one into right.
Well, now Trent Rice will step into the box, the right fielder for the Spartans. First pitch fastball will come over the plate for a strike. Moving quick here. Second pitch, another strike. It looked like he squared up to bunt. Asking if he pulled back. Seemed like he didn't, though. Umpire certainly didn't think so. Now it's 0-2 with 2 outs. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And there's a little gapped line drive to right field again. Another single here for the Michigan State offense with 2 outs in the inning. Britton comes in, allows 2 singles to the right side. Not exactly what you want to see from a reliever.
And really strong approach there from Trent Rice. 2 outs, didn't overswing, let the pitch come to him, went the other way with it into a big hole. Between first and second. He's on with a base hit. Now, after seeing 3 2/3 of Grant Bradley, this could be it for Brenham. They're going out for a meeting right now.
Pitching coach coming out for a nice little mound visit. Not sure if they'll pull him quite yet, but at least you're going to talk about strategy, see how to approach this next hitter, and C.J. DeKinga, the freshman third baseman, who is 0 for 2 today, only hitting 111 on the season, but 1 home run, 3 doubles, definitely a power bat that can hurt you with the runners in scoring position.
That'll be it for Brenham.
Little bit of a quick hook, but in a 2-0 ball game, that's where you're going to be, especially in a bullpen game like this. Now entering the game for the Michigan Wolverines, new reliever number 12. That is Max Diebick, the right-handed senior from Seattle, Washington. Big 6'7" frame, carrying 228 pounds. It's been a strong bullpen arm for the Wolverines this season. He's come in multiple scoreless outings, including 6 strikeouts and 2 2/3 innings against San Diego, and 3 scoreless innings against California State. But 19 appearances so far. High leverage outings. Has been one of, if not the most reliable bullpen arm for the Wolverines this season.
And he's been that bullpen arm for the Wolverines team, even going back to last year. Kind of one of the, just a tall guy, throws really hard, can get guys out to big spots. And last year he's the type of arm they would turn to in these type of situations, and that's really just carried over into this year. And not just his ability to get out of trouble, but as you mentioned, that start against San Diego, only 2 2/3 with 6 strikeouts. He's just a big, strong arm to throw multiple pitches, and clearly Michigan is showing that they don't want to let in these 2. They feel threatened by these 2 runners on base by the Spartans, and they want to be able to get out of this inning cleanly and hold on to their 2-0 lead.
You have to be this late in a game. The offense not exactly clicking like you want it to. You got to keep runs off the board. Diebick with the 6'7" frame really gets down the mound. Honestly, doesn't really matter what it says on the radar gun. Someone throwing from that far down the mound, it gets on you so quick. Coming in feels like 2 or 3 mile per hour faster than it maybe says. as he tries to put away CJ DeKinga, who will now enter the box against Max Diebik. 3-8.
Waiting for this moment. We talked about highly touted prospect, number 8 in the state of Illinois. Been a struggle so far with the Spartans, but here's his moment facing like the crosstown hated rival, the Wolverines. This is your chance. 2 guys on, 2 outs, down by 2. It's a real opportunity to really prove himself in the Spartan clubhouse.
See if he can improve on his .063 batting average with 2 outs and put one on the board here for the Spartans as Diebik rears back for the first pitch of this appearance. It'll be an 0-0 fastball, 90 miles per hour on the outside corner. Just a strong start for Diebik.
As you mentioned, that size, that comes even hotter than 90.
Just gets on you. Invades space. As he prepares to throw the 0-1 here. Fastball back inside up at 91, but a ball. Ryan McKay over on second base, jumping around. See if he can get some attention from the reliever. Diebik from the left side of the pitcher's mound will reel back here and throw a breaking curveball in for strike 2. Absolute knee buckler there.
He just froze him, and knee buckler's right. And that thing, he came in expecting fastball, and that thing just dropped. And it was a beautiful pitch by Diebik there. I think a 1-2.
1-2 here. Another curveball, but that'll miss up. Count now to 2-2. Diebik taking a second, collecting himself for this next pitch. Really important pitch here in this inning. 2-2 count with 2 outs and 2 runners on for the Spartans. The 2-2 pitch is a ball, another curveball, but a ball inside. Really leaning on that pitch here to see if he can get a 3-2 out here. 3-2 full count. Payoff pitch is a fastball. Inside, does not clip the zone. Bases loaded for the Spartans as Diebik allows a walk to CJ DeKinga.
DeKinga just able to keep the line moving. Really impressive at bat from him. Diebik fooled him with that curveball early in the pitch. If DeKinga down 1-2, able to bounce back, looked off the next 3 pitches, and now they're really threatening with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Wonder if Michigan's wishing they hadn't pulled Grant Bradley out. 2 outs, only at 25 pitches, maybe let him throw one more, get out of the inning. They chose to go to the fresh arm, and now same situation here with the bases loaded, but the bottom of the order up and Noah Bright.
I think that's exactly what Tracy Smith is thinking right now, as honestly the hottest bat of the day for the Spartans comes up to the plate in Noah Bright, the senior catcher.
2 hard at balls for him, and looks like Diebik might be coming out.
Diebik, another mound visit from the Wolverines. You know, the catcher walked out just a few seconds ago. Ellie Kliegman did to, potentially give the reliever in the bullpen a bit more time to warm up. As now it seems like it will be the end of the outing for Max Diebik.
Insane. It looked like Michigan was on their way to a 4th straight easy inning. And now they're making their 3rd pitching change of the inning. Diebik only allowed to face 1 batter. So far has not walked back to the dugout yet. No, and there he goes. That will be it for Max Diebik. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I honestly forgot you could play baseball like this. I've been watching too much professional ball where pitchers have to face at least 3 hitters. Now, 1 and done for Max Diebik, who allows a 6-pitch walk to load the bases. Now coming in.
There's country music in the background.
Big country. number 17, Gavin DeVoot.
This is the arm.
This is the arm for the Wolverines. 6'5", right-handed junior from Walled Lake, Michigan. He's gotten multiple saves, multiple closes for the Wolverines so far this year. High leverage arm for the Wolverines.
And if you're going to go to anyone to get it out, the guy you're going to go to is Gavin DeVoot. Only Wolverine with a sub-3 ERA. And there has been like a little bit of philosophical change in baseball. It used to be more want to save. You think about saving a guy like DeVoot for only the later innings. But here we are in the 7th, and the switch has been towards more like the situation. It's become a little more circumstantial. Like the situation here is you're up by 2, bases loaded. You want to protect your 2-0 lead. And like there might be no better time than this to bring in your best arm, so why not do it now? But DeVoot has been an absolute standout for this Wolverine team. As I mentioned, sub-3 RA, 2.25, 5 saves on the year, gets a lot of strikeouts, hold guy to a low average. They're probably like the highest leverage arm in this Michigan rotation, starter or bullpen.
Yeah, they call it the fireman role, the guy who comes in and puts out fires. Later in the game when you don't really want to bring in the closer type, but still an absolutely super strong arm for the Wolverines here. And Gavin DeVoot, number 17. As I said before, he'll have to face likely the hottest hitter so far today for the Spartans in the 9-hole, Noah Bright, the catcher.
What a big boy, 6'5", 248.
Truly is big country, eh? There's some John Party playing in the background. The Texan in me is very happy in this moment.
Crowd on their feet a little bit here.
Bases loaded for the 0-0 pitch. And it's a slider to the outside corner. Absolutely dotted pitch. As the 0-0 pitch falls for a strike 1.
That's exactly what Smith wants to see there. It's a perfect pitch for DeVoot.
Rears back for the 0-1. Another slider, but this one will fall away. Great stop by Ellie Kligman to stop that slider away for ball 1. But keeps it in front of him. Keeps that runner on third base. As DeVoot comes set for the 1-1. He'll deliver a lined pitch straight down the middle, but that'll end up in the first baseman's glove as Noah Bright grounds out to the first baseman. Easy put away there for Ossenfort. As we will exit the inning scoreless. Great job by Gavin DeVoot to come into that game and really put things on ice. He collects the 3rd out of that inning, and the Michigan Wolverines walk away from a scoreless top of the 7th. What'd you see there, partner?
Stretch. Fans singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," and they're breathing a massive sigh of relief. Michigan State gave them a real fight in that 7th inning. Michigan forced to make 3 pitching changes, but ultimately it was their number 1 arm, Gavin DeVoot, who's able to deal with the damage and get out of trouble. And Tracy Smith maybe pushed a little too many buttons in that inning. But at least pushed the correct button in the end with DeVoot and letting him get out of trouble. Wonder they only threw 3 pitches. Has not pitched in a game since this past weekend when he threw on Sunday, when he threw an inning. Wonder if they're going to bring him out for the 8th. But I think the smart approach there by Smith, I didn't necessarily agree with taking Bradley out. Probably thought they should have let him in and throw to one more hitter. But realizing the situation, realizing that like this is your chance to protect the lead, and why not bring your best arm as this game's getting late?
Yeah, I understand, pulling a guy once he hits that like 25, 26 pitch mark, because a lot of times you're not really given innings. You're said, hey, you got this many pitches, you got X pitches, and he probably reached his cap. But Shane Brenham comes in, struggles with control, and lets up a couple singles and end up with bases loaded. But like you were saying, Gavin DeVoot comes in as an absolute nail gun. Gets Noah right out.
I wonder who else there even is to bring in at this point. a lot of their top arms here already today. Despite being a Wednesday game, clearly they do not want to lose to their bitter rival, the Michigan State Spartans.
Do not want to lose a home game, even though it is a midweek. This is for bragging rights, ladies and gentlemen. And do not underestimate how petty Michigan will be when playing Michigan State. Now Greg Pace Jr., the center fielder, comes in for his third at-bat of the day. He's 1 for 2, a single and a ground ball, as the first pitch is fouled right back. Gannon Grundman challenging with a fastball early. Pace Jr. on time, just a little bit underneath it.
Yeah, not a massive crowd today, but considering the weather outside, this crowd is quite large, which I think speaks to just the animosity between these two teams.
The 0-1 pitch is a slider that hangs in there and falls for a strike. 77 miles per hour on the radar gun. Great little get-me-over breaking ball to set up an 0-2 pitch here. He'll come set and deliver the 0-2. It's fouled back by Greg Pace Jr. He'll fight off the 0-2 and will return to the 0-2 here.
I feel like Crumman's done a really good job getting those pitches in the strike zone. I know there's been some command issues with him so far this year, but really executed his pitches so far.
Absolutely, as the 0-2 here for a second time is a ball low slider that just ends up in the dirt. Good placement for an 0-2 pitch, certainly, but he'll try to come back to the strike zone here to find a 1-2 pitch that ends up right down the middle as a high chopping ground ball is hit to the pitcher. He'll rush it across, but Greg Pace Jr. is just too fast. He'll make it to first. He's turning for second as the right fielder comes down to make the throw, and he's out at second. Outstanding play by the right fielder to come in and cover a ball that just slips away from the first baseman, thrown away by the pitcher on the first attempt. Greg Pace Jr. turns the corner, but just does not get into second in enough time. Fantastic throw to put the leadoff potentially double away.
I felt Pace might have hesitated there for a second before he rounded over second, but not enough that really felt like he was guilty of anything bad, and just a really strong defensive play.
Yeah, more than anything. Now Drew Culbertson steps in and takes a first pitch ball slider that just hangs away for Gannon Grundman. He'll reel back for the 0-1, and there's a strike on the inside corner. Fastball just clips the zone. Bit of excitement here in the bottom of the 7th inning. A bit more action than we've seen from the base paths for the Wolverines in a few hours. The 1-1 is lined out to right field. That'll fall for a 1-1 single. Here for Drew Culbertson. Bit of production from the bottom of the lineup.
They needed something to get it going there. I mean, Michigan, I feel like it's been a while since they got a base runner. Culbertson, just strong approach there, muscles it the other way. And finally, it feels like it's been like a bunch of innings since Michigan at least like threatened to score. But getting strong production there. Bottom of the lineup, and now really setting the table for Jeffries in the top of the order.
Like you said, Braden Jeffries will step in hot off of a double in his last at-bat. 0-0 pitch is a fastball that clips the outside corner for strike one. He's looking to continue to do damage today. 1 for 3. Still hitting .282 on the season. Great production from the sophomore, who'll hit from the left side against this 0-1 pitch. He delivers a ground ball to the second baseman. He'll look to turn two, and he does not turn two as Jeffers legs out fielder's choice there. Unable to turn two is the second baseman, Ryan McKay. But they'll be happy to leave that with 1, as Michigan has another runner on first base, but now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Ball hit a little too softly to be able to turn 2 there. The Wolverines are lucky that this inning's still alive, and Carson Luna has a chance to bring a run home.
Carson Luna steps in 0-0. There's a ball inside. Fastball that does not have enough on it. Luna 0 for 3 today. But he's had some solid situational hitting. See if he can get in the hit column here, as the 0-1 is a slider outside that does not make its way back into the zone. 2-0 is the count.
Garneman now kind of missing the plate with some of these off-speed stuff.
Not having the same control that he's had earlier. Here's the 2-0 to Luna. It's a ground ball to the shortstop, who makes a great pick, throws on the run, and he's out at first base. Great play from the shortstop, Dayton Murphy.
Murphy knows it too. He's running back to the dugout and he's hyped up. That was a spectacular play.
That truly was.
To make a quick reflex throw over to first base to get the runner out.
And Michigan State's hoping that he can carry that production into the batter's box, that he'll step up third, due up third today in this 8th inning. Parker Peacock come up first, though.
DeVoe coming back out for the Wolverines. Obviously got the last out, 10 to the 7th inning. And they're going to bring it back out here for this 8th and potentially another. Depends how this one goes. But not so many high leverage arms left for the Wolverines in this bullpen, and this is the best of the best. But I don't know, feels like Michigan had a lot going for them early in the game, kind of struggled to score. And I feel like there's been a conscious shift in momentum, yet the Spartans have not been able to score yet.
Yeah, it's just been timely pitching from the Wolverines to keep the Spartans out of the run column so far today. Michigan State actually out-hitting Michigan now 7-6 in the ball game, but an error by Michigan State has allowed Michigan to, put 2 runs up and carry that kind of momentum into the 8th inning here.
Kind of like a Michigan State football game. Like there's an ugliness to it, but like kind of seen some of this today where it's tough, strong. Kind of need to do the small things right in order to win. And I think the difference so far is Michigan has done a little more of the small things, especially we were talking about Evan Hager earlier in the game, just doing just enough for Michigan to score these runs. But haven't played their best baseball. And we'll see if Michigan State has some fight in them here in this 8th inning.
Now's at the point of the game where you start to take everything pitch by pitch, see if you can put some base runners on, hopefully some runs on the board. As Parker Pico, a pinch hitter, steps up to the plate here for the Spartans. Not exactly the hottest hitter, hitting under 100 at .094.
I think a testament to kind of where the Michigan State lineup is right now, that this is the guy. They're one of their best options to turn to.
First pitch ball. Now prepping for pitch 2. That will also be a ball. Slider that does not clip the edge of the corner. That's a ball outside for now 2-0 count. See if DeVoe can come back into the zone after a 2-0 start to the at-bat. And he does. Fastball right down Broadway. Brings the count to 2-1. Here in a 2-0 ball game. Pico steps in again and lines a ball out to shortstop. But Culbertson is right there to collect it as Pico lines L6 right out to Drew Culbertson.
That pitch just ran it on the hands of Pico. Like he kind of muscled it as much as he could, but really strong pitch there from DeVoe, forcing him into a pretty weak liner.
Yep. Kamari Thomas now steps in. He's 0 for 3 today. See if we can continue that. Maybe add another strikeout to his 2-strikeout day, as the first pitch is a ball outside. Fastball running arm side from the right-handed DeVoe. Kamari Thomas, 318 hitter. He tries to fight off the 1-0. foul ball down the right side, just grounded. Just foul. Austin Fort comes over to collect, gets the ball back to the mound.
Kamari's a pesky hitter. He gets to get on base today, but a guy that can run late at bats, he's trying to get on base.
The 1-1 is a bunt attempt. I don't know if he even made contact. Went straight to Kligman's glove. Count now to 1-2.
It's funny, the bunt's become a lost art kind of Major League Baseball, but still very prominent in this game today.
Infield pushed back for the 1-2. A slider that does not come in and break. Left away for the 2-2. 1 out here in the top of the 8th. DeVoot delivers the 2-2. Another fastball away. Running arm side. Now pushes the count to full. See if DeVoot can find the strike zone here on a payoff pitch. He delivers. Fastball away. Does not. That'll be a walk with 1 out here in the 8th for Kamari Thomas. Like you said, a pesky hitter.
Thomas just worked his way back to that bat. Seemed like DeVoot was trying to get one of those breaking pitches to break back over the plate, but it was all kind of just staying to the outside. And Thomas, who struck out a couple times today, able to look those ones off and get on base. And he's got a big lead over there. They might want to check on him before he gets off and running.
Murphy Dayton, fresh off a great play, steps in. And he'll take a first pitch slider for a strike. That'll get me over to start the at-bat. He's got a single so far today in the first. Led off the inning, but did not score and did not get on base in his next 2 attempts. DeVoot will check first. Bit of a precautionary pick attempt. Not really trying to get it out. Just trying to keep him in check over there at first base. DeVoot now to the plate for the 1-1. As that ball is fouled back off the right side. Dayton Murphy making contact. Now down 0-2.
I wonder if Thomas is inclined to run here. I know he's a speedy guy. But down 2-0 in this game might be a little too risky.
The 0-2 is a slider low and away. And Murphy swings right on top of it, right over it. It'll be a punch-out strikeout here.
That was the best pitch DeVoot has thrown so far today.
Just perfectly spotted. Starts in the outside corner, then just falls off the table.
I mean, Ian Murphy is a pretty strong hitter, just flailing at that one. That was very, very impressive from DeVoot to get the second out.
Isaac Sturgis will now step in. 1 for 3 today. First pitch, slider away. Will not break back into the strike zone. Can't seem to place that slider to lefties.
He's been struggling, yeah. The lefties have kind of been his bugaboo with the slider. He threw that perfect slider to Murphy, but he struggled to kind of get this one to come back over the plate to lefties.
The 1-0 pitch is a ground ball right up the middle. It'll go to the second baseman. He'll try to get it at first, but will throw it away. Runners now advancing to third base. And a ground ball off the pitcher's glove that makes its way to Carson Luna at second base will not result in any outs as Luna throws the last second throw away. Runner on first advances to third base.
There from Luna. I mean, didn't seem like he had much of a chance to get the runner out at that point. Threw it away and let the lead runner Thomas get the extra base. And now tying runs are on base against Michigan's, like, so to speak, ace DeVoot here.
Umpires are coming together over at first base. I think just to check on Isaac Sturgis to make sure he's not hurt. That ball probably up close to his hands. Cannot be feeling good right now.
No, that ball is a little bit of like a stunner, kind of like ripped up the middle. DeVoot got a piece of it, maybe the glove, maybe hit his leg. but took an odd hop and kept this inning alive for the Spartans. And this is their chance. 8th inning, down 2 runs. Randy Seymour swinging a pretty hot bat. This is actually one of the guys you want up here if you're the Spartans. All right, and the first baseman Seymour.
Yeah, he's hitting .316 with runners in scoring position on the year. It's exactly what you want at the plate. Best numbers on the team. As the big first baseman will step into the box. Senior leadership. He tries to score a runner here for the Spartans. First pitch is a slider on the inside that is fouled on the left field line. Great first pitch for DeVoot as he gets attacking in this 2-out at-bat. Runners on first and third for the Spartans. Busy base paths. But DeVoot determined to keep them there. The 0-1. Another slider that just falls right into the zone for the 0-2 pitch.
That slider just works against righties.
He's had no problem pitching it to righties. None at all. DeVoot comes set for the 0-2. Another slider fouled into the Michigan batter's box. Will stay 0-2 with 2 outs here. Randy Seymour facing off against Gavin DeVoot.
I think you stick with the slider here. It's working. See if you get a swing and a miss.
See if he can deliver another stellar performance. The 0-2 flied out to center field. Greg Pace is camped under it. He'll have no problem putting that away. As a fly ball from the first baseman ends the inning for Michigan State with no runs. No runs off of 1 hit.
The Wolverines survive another scare. I mean, nothing is coming easy for them these innings. Michigan State, they're getting ducks on the pond. They got real chances to score, but just good enough pitching. Stuck with the slider throughout the at-bat. Seemed like Seymour actually made a pretty solid piece of it, but kind of just hung up there. Can of corn. Michigan able to get out of this inning once again unscathed, hold on to that 2-0 lead, despite the pretty persistent offensive pressure they faced from Michigan State over the last couple innings.
Yeah, you're certainly going to have to piece one up for it to get behind an outfielder today. But the wind blowing in as it is, seems as if there is a new arm for the Spartans.
That is the
Number 16, Brady Chambers. A redshirt freshman right-hander, 6'6", from Western Springs, Illinois.
Just a freak athlete, 6'6".
He was
15, and yeah, you talk about it, he's like a multi-sport guy.
He was ranked as the number 18 right-handed pitcher out of Illinois, number 53 overall. He was also named the number 19 power forward in Illinois by Prep Hoops, which, if you know anything about basketball in the great state of Illinois, is saying a lot. A lot of talented hoopers there. But he decides to come to Michigan State and pitch for them. So far this season, done a pretty good job. 1.88 ERA, .91 whip in 14 innings. Only 1 start come out of the bullpen for most of them. Their biggest arm here. He's been their guy out of the bullpen. Whether that's a fireman role or as a closer. 1 save so far this season.
It's really impressive numbers from the freshman. To be able to step in at his age and kind of do the damage that he's done so far this year. It was a testament to the pitcher. He is the pitcher Michigan State believes he can become. Last outing against Rutgers, pitched 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs. I mean, this is a guy that can just come in, maybe give him a couple hits, couple walks. But he's showing an ability to hold teams quiet.
Colby Turner will step in for the 0-0 and will foul the first pitch back, straight back on an 87-mile-per-hour fastball. Turner 1-2 on the day. started the game off with a walk and a stolen base, followed up with a banging double off the left field wall, sorry. But that 0-2 pitch will be a giant swing and a miss over a curveball. Count now 0-2 on Colby Turner.
Really good pitch there. Good off-speed with full Turner.
He'll deliver the 0-2 curveball in the dirt.
Turner's the only guy who's really been able to connect on one today. Feels like other guys have seemingly made good contact, but it's kind of hung up in the air. Turner, any other part of the field, that ball would have been out of here.
Absolutely. The 1-2 is lined straight to the center fielder, who has to take maybe one step to make the catch. Another well-hit ball for Colby Turner, but that will not fall. As
the just sitting there up there today. It's really like a center fielder's dream.
It is cold and damp. Not very conducive to power hitting. Ellie Kligman will step in 0-2 so far today with a walk in his first appearance, but followed it up with 2 outs. The 0-0 pitch is a fastball in the outside corner. That'll land for strike 1. Kligman steps back in. Switch hitter hitting from the left side this at-bat. Will take the 0-1 pitch for a ball. Fastball outside does not make contact with the zone. Now 1-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning for Ellie Kligman. This pitch is grounded foul down the right field line. Will not see any action on that pitch. Straight into the Michigan State bullpen. Kligman steps back in. Brady Chambers on the mound. The 1-2 is fouled right back. Slipped through the glove of the catcher.
Kligman just got a piece of that. Kligman, let's see, wearing the ski mask. Kid from Nevada, probably not used to temperatures like these. He's got his whole face covered.
The 1-2 is fouled off again down the left field line. Playing around the world is Kligman as he fouls one off to all sides.
Just doing what he can to stay alive here. Still 1-2 count, but foul off a lot of pitches here with 2 strikes.
The 1-2 again is popped out to left field. He'll take a few steps in, does Pico. Now fielding in the left field spot for the Spartans, and he'll put that ball away. There's now 2 outs in the inning on 2 pop outs or fly outs for the Wolverines. Now Cade Ladoff comes in, the junior DH. 0-3 so far today. Nothing really doing for the junior.
Ladoff, the guy had those chances to really break this game open earlier in the game. Stranded a lot of guys on base. It's been a quiet day for him.
First pitch misses high. 86-mile-per-hour fastball that does not fall into the zone. The 1-0 will come in here. A high pop fly that will not leave the infield. First baseman is huddled underneath it, and he'll put it away for the 3rd out of the inning. Seymour catches the ball quite easily. 3 balls in the air do not fall for the Wolverines. They'll go scoreless into the 9th.
I see nobody warming in the Michigan pen, and it's making me think we might have round 3 of DeVuden. Yeah, we will. Here he walks back out of the mound with a chance for the 2 1/3 out save.
Interesting style of pitching management here for the Wolverines, to be completely honest. Letting your one of your main guys go extended. But he's the hot hand right now. Him and Grant Bradley really been the hot hands. and Cade Montgomery. I do want to talk about how good his start was. Do not want that to be forgotten. But do you want to just give a little recap of what we've seen so far this game?
Yeah,
Kind of the
shutout's
story.
It's really been a team effort so far, at least through 8 innings. K. Montgomery, we talked about his struggles pregame. Someone that came in and got blown up by UCLA in his last start. Really able to limit damage in his 3 innings of work. I thought he had a good pitch mix. Seemed like he was in control. A lot of strikeouts. And then he just handed the ball over to Grant Bradley, who did a little bit more of the same. Maybe less strikeouts, but in 3 2/3 innings of work, got only through 25 pitches. It was easy. It was breezy. But then the struggles came, and credit to the Michigan bullpen, credit to Gavin DeVoot for being able to weather almost 2 storms now in the 7th and the 8th inning to keep this game at 2-0. And now they're really testing his limits here, bring him out for a 3rd inning. But he really is, kind of when they put him in, it was like they don't really have so many high leverage arms left behind him. And you know what? You're playing Michigan State. This is a team you desperately want to beat. And we'll see what DeVoot's got. DeVoot, interestingly, went to Ohio State, transferred to Michigan. A rare Buckeye and Wolverine. But shares this hatred. Both of them share this hatred for the Spartans.
Well, we've got a couple of them now. Him, Roddy Gale Jr. Surprising. 10 years ago, would have never believed you. First pitch here for DeVoot in the inning is a strike. Fastball that'll land in the zone against Ryan McKay, the second baseman for the Spartans. He's 2 for 3 on the day. 2 singles in the 2nd and 7th. Working fast here is DeVoot as the 0-1 will land outside. A slider that does not break back into the zone. Kind of moving right to left from the press box. Great movement, but just not enough. Now again, the 1-1. Fastball up and away, but will land for a strike. 1-2 count here on Ryan McKay.
On the fastball there, which he kind of didn't do much of last inning. Really stuck to the slider, but a good fastball high and away for the 2nd strike.
The 1-2 is a slider that would break back in, but is fouled away by Ryan McKay. Great piece of hitting to stay alive here in the last chance for the Spartan faithful.
If there's anyone you want to kind of be the table setter for this inning, the way Ryan McKay has played today.
A lot of contact hitting. The 1-2 in the top of the 9th. Oh, great slider that'll just land inside. Ball 2. Not quite enough plate there for DeVoot. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball away. So 2 non-competitive pitches here for Gavin DeVoot will land him with a full count to the lead-off hitter. The last thing you want to do is walk this lead-off hitter, see if he can deliver a strike. And he cannot. A fastball up will land as a ball, and the leadoff hitter will walk.
And this is the 2nd straight inning where you've noticed DeVoot is struggling to locate his pitches against lefties. He feels like that's comfort. Being really able to pick up spots against righties. But against lefties, he's been trying to pick those spots in the outside corner. Has not been able to find it. And now we're in a situation where the tying run is at the plate.
I've got great news for you, though. The next 4 hitters are right-handers for the Spartans, as the 1-1 is a fastball in for strike. Gavin DeVoot right back at it, throwing dimes against righties.
Already at 29 pitches here, though. I wonder if he might start showing a little signs of fatigue.
Fastball and almost hits him, but will not. Still evens the count 1-1, however. It's an 80-mile-per-hour cutter, perchance, or a slider. Lands inside against Ryan McKay. Now the 1-1. Slider away, fouled down the right field line. Won't leave the infield. but will lead to a 1-2 count here in the top of the ninth. 1-2 count, no outs, runner on first base. DeVoot comes, sets, delivers another foul ball right off of McKay. Fouled right back into him.
Trent Rice has done this today. Like, I think out of the Michigan State hitters, he's one of the guys who kind of looked the best of the plate. Worked the walk in the second, got a single in the seventh. Been able to put up strong at bats. So you're gonna need a real good pitch if you want to put a guy like Rice away here.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Another pitch that almost hits him inside, but that'll be another ball. Slider just inside against Trent Rice. It's a 2-2 count. DeVoot trying to have a competitive pitch. He'll throw a slider inside again. 3 straight sliders on the inside for 3 straight balls. All his misses to that arm side.
Might want to go away from the slider here. Now you got 3-2. Tying a run at the dish. I don't know if you can risk missing another slider here. Might just want to throw a pitch at the zone.
3-2, no outs. Runner on first base for DeVoot is up. And another walk for the Spartans, who now have 2 base runners and the winning run coming to the plate here in the top of the 9th.
Wow, they're going to let him. Now it seems like this might be it.
The leash cannot be much longer than this.
Might be the pitching coach.
As in the pen, there is action for the Wolverines. Can't quite tell who it is right now.
Pretty remarkable. DeVoot, he is like the arm of their bullpen. Hasn't really looked excellent today. Look, he's been manageable, been able to get through, but they're really pushing his limits here. Back to back, just lost guys in these at bats. Like, had him up in the count, and just like lost at a certain point, thrown a couple balls in a row. Kind of like a situation where you got first and second, nobody out.
Well, for right now, it will be DeVoot on the pen. Sorry, on the mound. Not going to the pen here is the Wolverines, sticking with their veteran arm. 0-0 count here. He'll square for a bunt and foul it back to the catcher for an 0-1 strike. Did not get the bunt down.
King was able to work a walk with runners at first and second. And it's back in the 7th inning. Similar spot here. Obviously, no outs instead of 2, but
He'll square again, but a ball will land inside. Now the 37th pitch of the day for Gavin DeVoot. You got to think fatigue starts to play a role here.
yeah, I mean, he has actually thrown upwards of 40 and 50 pitches this year, but that is not his comfort zone. And he's already at 36 now.
Another square will foul back again. First baseman Matthew Austinfort almost in the batter's box after creeping down so far, but he'll range back up as it's a 1-2 count with no outs here.
He's going to have to swing away now. 2 strikes.
Coach wants to have a talk with CJ DeKinga in the box, his freshman who cannot put the bunt down. Now hitting 111 on the season. 0 for 2 today. CJ DeKinga, after the coaches conference, will come back into the box with a 1-2 count. He'll deliver a slider down that does not find the strike zone. I thought for sure we were going to see a DeKinga rung up there, but I guess not. 2-2 count now for DeVoot. He'll deliver A line drive to the second baseman for a great grab. That ball was hit straight, and I do mean straight, to Carson Luna. He did not have to move an inch to make this first out of this inning. The all-important first out collected on a line drive. Lined out right to the second baseman, Carson Luna. Now stepping into the box is Noah Bright, the catcher. Veteran, senior, 1 for 3 on the day, one of the best hitters so far. As he tries to do damage against DeVoot. He'll take a first pitch ball to the outside corner.
Bright's been hitting the Michigan pitchers pretty hard today. Only 1 of 3 to show for it, but he's got a single, he's got a line out. Not a guy to just scoff at, even though he's the 9 hitter in the Spartans lineup.
Absolutely not. The 1-0 is a strike on the outside corner. Just clipped the zone on a slider. Low and away, but still in the zone. The 1-1 with 1 out in the top of the 9th for DeVoot. He'll deliver. A ground ball to the shortstop. Culbertson ranging in. He'll throw on the run and get him at first. What an absolutely fantastic play for Drew Culbertson there, as he'll make the second out of the inning. However, both runners do advance as the umpires come in for a conference, likely to take a look at this call here.
We got the instant replay guy here in the booth with us. I don't know if they're going to send it to replay, but he motioned that he is out, so
Oh, we're going to go to replay.
I expect this to go in Michigan's favor unless there's a new angle that reveals something different. But seems like we had kind of behind-the-scenes access here in the booth, and our replay guy, he's got every angle. Seems to be motioning that it's an out. And if so, Drew Culbertson, what a play. Softly hit ground ball. Kind of thought with a speedier guy, that probably would have been a hit. Bright, the catcher, little slower. And that's the second out of this inning.
Yeah, this late in the game, you can't take your challenges with you, so you're going to challenge for your Michigan State, but out by a step and a half is the catcher, Noah Bright. Is now 2 outs in the inning. Seems like we'll have a new pitch. No, same pitch hitter as before. Parker Pico will come into the box for the Spartans, number 11. 0 for 1 of the day. Lined out to the shortstop. But they're looking for some production from their new leadoff hitter with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th.
They said we'll tie this game, and they left a gaping hole open.
Shifts on for the Wolverines. All 3 infielders to the left side of the second base as DeVoot delivers the 0-0. A slider in the dirt. Great block by Kligman. He'll keep it in front of him to keep that runner at bay.
Good block by Kligman there. Keep everything in front of you right now.
That's your job as the backstop. DeVoot comes set for the 1-0. Foul ball, fouled all the way out into the parking lot over the right field side of the bleachers. Hoping to hear a car alarm after that one. Hoping not to hear a car alarm, I should say. As DeVoot comes set for his 45th pitch of the afternoon. For the 1-1. In the zone is a slider as he lands it, and we are 1 pitch away from a Michigan win. Also 1 pitch away potentially from a Spartan hit, but it's a 1-2 count with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. DeVoot comes set against Pico. And it's a swing and a miss! A strikeout for Gavin DeVoot as he puts away the Spartans for his 3rd save of the season. Just an absolutely fantastic pitch to end the game on a chilly Wednesday. For your final score of 2-0 Wolverines against the Michigan State Spartans. Final tally, 8 hits and 1 error for the Spartans, 6 hits and 1 error for the Wolverines. But those 6 hits mattered a lot more for the Maize and Blue as they put 2 runs on the board, and the Spartans couldn't scratch one.
Nothing about this game was pretty. It's 30 degrees outside. Sky is full of clouds, overcast day. A little bit of a surprise they even played baseball today. The same could be said for the game too. Gavin DeVoot did not. He's Michigan's best pitcher. Did not come in today with his best stuff. Really, had to battle 8th inning, 9th inning. But when it mattered most, he was able to get himself all the way up to 45 pitches and get out of this game without allowing a single run. It's an absolutely gutty, tough performance for Michigan's Gavin DeVoot. And that is the ball game. Michigan able to hold on 2-0. Not the strongest, most impressive performance, but a win is a win, and the Michigan pitchers did all that they needed to do to get the W.
Yeah, absolutely. Not his best control of the day, but I do want to give out 2 massive, massive shout-outs to the pitching performances from Cade Montgomery and
Grant Bradley.
And Grant Bradley, thank you very much. Absolutely fantastic outings for both of them. Both deliver 3 innings of scoreless baseball. As Michigan delivers their 10th win of the season.
Win Michigan needed their 6th in a row against Michigan State. And a nice return home despite the cold weather to be able to pull out a win like that. And it just felt like it was one of those games. We talked about this during the broadcast. They just did more little things right than the Spartans. The Spartans out-hit them. The Spartans, honestly, for the last couple of innings of this game, outplayed them. But
yeah.
Michigan did the little things. They were able to score runs. And their pitchers just stepped up when it mattered most. Gavin DeVoot being able to go all the way to 46 pitches, not allow a single run, that is impressive work for Michigan's ace.
Both runs today scored due to base running. Evan Hager gets a 6-pitch walk to get on base, steals 2 bags, comes home on a wild pitch. When you do little things like that, it's so much easier to let yourself win. You're not fighting against yourself to deliver a few runs here and there. Gavin DeVoot now down to a 1.96 ERA. Just a fantastic outing for the Michigan relievers today. Put together a fantastic bullpen game.
Yeah, incredible. And I think, honestly, Michigan State's credit, I think their 5-13 record does not necessarily represent the team that they are. I think they're closer to more of a Michigan than you might think. They've had to face a really tough schedule, and I thought they really competed with Michigan today. But not enough, and just cannot get the clutch hit. They were missing that clutch hit all game, and the Wolverines are able to leave this one with a 2-0 win and start off their homestand hot.
Yes. All right. I think that's where we'll leave you today after a 2-0 win for your Michigan Wolverines. The win will go to Grant Bradley, the save to Gavin DeVoot, the loss to Bobby Crane for the Spartans. We'll leave you, as we always do. Have a great night, and go Blue.
Thanks for listening. All right, awesome. Great work. Wow, it's tiring.
I think I forgot how long baseball games are.